I'm Christine Lisi. The latest massive NBA payday goes to Pistons guard Cade Cunningham. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports he agreed to a 5-year, $224 million extension. It could be worth as much as $269 million. Guard Klay Thompson introduced today by his new team, the Mavericks. He discussed his emotional exit from the Warriors after 13 years, as well as his excitement for the next chapter in his NBA career.
Sometimes, breakups are necessary to do what's right, and I'm not the first athlete in the NBA to go through this. I take a lot of inspiration from past athletes and how their careers might have gone, astray when they either left the team or joined a new team, and some guys thrive, and I look forward to just kind of being rejuvenated here and playing a lot of good basketball left in the tank.
Mavs guard Klay Thompson. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, recently seen wearing a walking boot on vacation, says nothing's wrong with his surgically repaired ankle. It was a little sore after a few days of hard training. The walking boot was worn only for precautionary reasons. He's expected to be fully healthy when training camp opens.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming on Wednesday, we've been talking all week about the most competitive divisions in the NFL, but I'll tell you which one I think is absolutely the league's best. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Taylor Sharp. I promise. Taylor's here. There he is. Muse. And a Mr. Toby Tom play. Right, we're here. Glad you are. Minutes from right now, we're heading 3 big portal. We got a ton.
Bud Light.
Troubled LSU has landed the gigantic portal prospect on the portal class to include. My goodness, they've added plenty of power bats, first base DH. They've added 6 right-handed pitchers, some very big name and power arms, all of which to be very excited about. But we know, looking at this team, that there was a couple of shortcomings and maybe none greater at this point than what you were going to need to address. Announced, had it first, that LSU landed a massive transfer. This past year, Dickinson slashed 661, 18 homers, 32 stolen bases. 2025 with, as he notes, similarities. That is a match for Daniel Dickinson. Now, if you follow me on Locked on LSU, even though I was on vacation last week, I still did Locked on LSU, and I mentioned Dickinson on the podcast because that was a name I heard after LSU missed out on Gavin Keelan. As best I can gather, and this is not pandering, this is talking to people around baseball, and we'll talk to Joe Doyle later in the show, but as best I can gather, Daniel Dickinson available infield back who hit the portal, but let's just be very honest. As soon as A&M hired Michael Early and just committed all of their NIL resources to retention, Laviolette and Grahovac and Caden Kent and all those guys weren't going anywhere. So of the really available portal guys, those are the top two. One of them, and you got the other. The NIL commitment for the two was comparable. If you were here when we talked about Gavin Keelan, I was told that LSU made its largest NIL offer for baseball ever to Gavin Keelan. It wasn't enough to get him from Tennessee. I do not know, I'll tell you very candidly, I do not know I've not had confirmed firmly for me what Daniel Dickinson is going to get from LSU in the portal, but I'm quite confident saying that would be the highest number LSU would have paid somebody in the through NIL yet for a baseball player. So LSU gets the player at the position they desperately need. So a couple of things. Number one, I want to talk a little bit about Daniel Dickinson and his path to LSU from high school to now. And then I also want to talk a little bit about how the infield for next year is starting to take shape. So first of all, you might say, okay, well, if he's a great prospect, why did he end up at Utah Valley? Great question. So first of all, Dickinson is from a small town in Washington State. I don't know if you pay much attention, but the Pac-12 in baseball isn't really popping anymore. By and large, the leagues that matter are pillaging talent out of that league. Just look at LSU. Thatcher Hurd, Gage Jump. I mean, LSU alone pulled 2 big-time pitchers out of one school. You can look around the league and see elite players. Braden Montgomery went from Stanford to Texas A&M. The best players from out west are coming east because it's where the opportunity is. It's where the best baseball is played right now. That's not even really debatable. It's the SEC, the ACC. So I think you had a situation in talking to some people like within scouting and recruiting ties that he was just a guy in a place where even when he went to some showcase events, he wasn't one of the guys by and large that a lot of the college recruiters were there to see. So they kind of missed. He ends up at Utah Valley. And that may sound a little odd, but I want to connect the dots. If you don't remember the name Eddie Smith, remember Eddie Smith, who's the head coach at Utah Valley, played for Paul Maneri at Notre Dame and was the hitting coach at LSU in 2020 and 2021. So there was a very natural connection. Eddie Smith had been at Tulane as well, so had connections with Louisiana and ties to the program. So there was a very natural tie to get with LSU and with Eddie Smith. So you land Daniel Dickinson, who had offers from just about everybody. And now you can sort of look at how this infield is taking shape. And I'm going to repeat this again, and you're going to hear me repeat it a bunch between now and the start of the season. And certainly after the draft, when we have a much better sense of how LSU's roster is going to take shape after the draft. You may not be wowed when I tell you LSU lands guys from Utah Valley or Dayton or Indiana State, and that's fine. But I'll say again, there are measurables associated with baseball. I can measure velo. I can measure spin rate. I can measure horizontal break. I can measure bat speed. I can measure exit velo. I can measure distance of home runs. All of those things are measurable. And you either have those things or you don't. And LSU has recruited a lot of guys that maybe weren't the biggest prospects at 16, 17, 18, went to college for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and now are bigger prospects that are ready for a step up. And sometimes that works out really well. A&M this year, was Schott was the kid from, one of the Ivy League schools?
Columbia.
From Columbia, yeah. Was from Columbia, goes to A&M this year, DHs for him, and it's, 330? I mean, yeah, it happens. And then sometimes you have Mac Bingham, who was first team all Pac-12, who makes the transition from Pac-12 to SEC, and it doesn't go well. So there's here who has the physical ability, the tools, that is projecting as a first-round pick in 2025. We'll see how he does in the step-up in competition. You better believe Scout. We don't know what's going to happen with Bear Jones. We'll keep an eye on it. But if Bear Jones signs, then you have Hernandez, Eddie Yaman, and Dalton Beck all competing for first. Second base, Stephen Milam's back. He could play there, or Dickinson can play second base. Dickinson's played all three spots on the infield, second, third, and short during his time at Utah Valley. If Braswell's back, Braswell can be your shortstop. Milam can play second. Dickinson can play third. Boom. If not, you got Tanner Reeves in the mix as well, and maybe Milam plays short or Dickinson plays short. My point is, you got those guys. You have enough guys and really good options. On top of that, you've got legit high school signees coming in. Potentially, we'll see what happens with the draft. Cale Fountain is number 235 on Kylie McDaniel's updated top 250 prospects in the draft. You've got Kason Evans from down in New Orleans. Michael Ryan's number 213 on Kylie McDaniel's updated top 250. You want a guy that grew up loving LSU, would cut himself bleed purple and gold? That's Michael Ryan. I mean, you've got guys, and I'll throw this out as well, y'all. I know Ryan Kucherak entered the transfer portal, but you realize Kucherak entered the portal with a do not contact designation? If you're entering the portal with the intention of leaving, why would you have a do not contact designation? I think, and I can't confirm this, I haven't been able to confirm this, but I think Ryan Kucherak just kind of wanted, before the portal deadline came and passed, wanted to put his name in the portal to give himself options to see what happened with Braswell in the draft and what happened with the portal and who else might come in. So all that to say, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Kucherak could return. And again, I don't know that. He hasn't committed anywhere, and he has a do not contact tab. So at this point, I look at LSU's roster for next year, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think there's two things you need. I'd love another left-handed arm. And you need depth at catcher. You need one more guy. If you have Blaze Priester and Cade Arambidi, the freshman coming in, that's a really good start. I'd love one more. Give me one more. And then I think you're good to go. Let's see how they make it through the draft with the draftable prospects and with their high school signees. And then you start to put this thing together. And I think you should be excited because of all the great arms they've added, as far as position players, this one is the crown jewel. It's one that everybody wanted, and you got him. The evasive infielder that LSU had been looking for, they got in a big way on Tuesday with Daniel Dickinson from Utah Valley. All right, we're brought to you by, our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. I don't think it's too late to enter, y'all, for the Zach Bryan tickets coming to the Dome later this month. You go to the Mockler Beverage page on social media, Facebook, Instagram, you'll see the Zach Bryan post. There's a QR code on that post. All you got to do when you hit that QR code is you tap, and it'll show you exactly what you do to enter to win tickets to see Zach Bryan at the Superdome coming up later this month. Drink easy in Louisiana with the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll come back. Our weekly chat with Shea Dixon. It was a monster recruiting weekend for LSU. We'll get Shay's thoughts to put a bow on that and talk about the exciting steps ahead with some big-name prospects still on the board. What should we expect? We're getting into all that with Shea Dixon next on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You know what to do. Give him a buzz, y'all. 888-8888. 888-8888. Or go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Y'all, I know I tell you every day about Gordon and the great work that Gordon and his team do in our community. Yes, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Go to getgordon.com or call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You can always go to the website and read testimonials. You scroll down, you'll see them right there. I mean, Brittany Judson is one that left her testimonial there on the homepage of the website. Everyone I asked recommended Gordon. They were always there, even on weekends, if something had happened. A giant, awesome review and testimonial for Gordon McKernan. And then on top of that as well, all the community involvement through Gordon Gives, the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Love talking about Gordon and the great people over there. If you've been injured, you need representation, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done. Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Man, we got a ton to do today. Shay Dixon coming up in just a quick second. We're trying to connect there with Shady. I do want to talk about Deshaun McBride, the freshman safety for LSU, who, by the way, is now going by Deshaun Spears. And he was part of Phil Steele's updated list today. Phil's going through his position rankings for freshmen. And yesterday we talked about one of the freshman wide receivers out at LSU. Today, as he looked at the safeties, Deshaun McBride, Deshaun Spears is on that list. We'll talk about what I think his projections may be. And also, in Hour 3, Ryan Karchi is going to be here. He covers USC for the LA Times. I had an opportunity a couple weeks back, y'all, to do an interview with on a USC podcast. And I think it's always pretty fascinating. I think it's always pretty fascinating when you play an opponent you're not familiar with to learn that fan base and what their take may be, or the people that cover that team, what their take and impressions may be about that team, that program going into the season and the game that they play. Like, you know your conference exceptionally well because you play them every year. You get very familiar with the personnel and the coaches and all that sort of stuff. And I think we all have these perceptions of Southern Cal from a distance, right? Lincoln Riley, really good offensive mind. The defense has been atrocious. They just changed their defensive coordinator. They're replacing Caleb Williams. I think we're all looking at that going, man, LSU should win that game going away. Tigers are nearly a touchdown favorite. But the flip side of it is I think USC is looking at LSU the same way, going, well, Jaden Daniels is gone. That defense last year was terrible. New defensive coordinator coming in. I mean, is he any good? Don't know. I think there's just a lot of similarities in the way that conversation's going. So I do want to talk. We'll get sort of a thumbnail preview of how the offseason has gone for SC coming up here in Hour number 3. So I'm looking forward to that. For what it's worth, I mean, I don't know that it's as simple as saying it just comes down to Garrett Nussmeier and Miller Moss. I think it may come down to which new defensive coordinator has their defense more ready to go come September the 1st out in Las Vegas. And, whoever does, I think probably is who's going to emerge victorious from that day. All right, we're connecting with Shea Dixon. Want to do some recruiting talk. Quick reminder about the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020. Or go to williamsoneye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com. It's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. Full service surgical or full service optical shop there at the Williamson Eye Center. So I tell you all the time, of course, if you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, Dr. Blake Williamson can help make that happen. But I also love telling you because they have their red, white, and 2 sale going on right now. So look, it's getting close to back to school. And if you're thinking about getting the glasses for the kiddos before school and you want to do it affordably, you could do it at the Williamson Eye Center. You buy 1 complete pair, and you get a second frame for free over at the Williamson Eye Center. So give them a buzz at 924-2020, 924-2020, or online at williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, guys, I need an update. What are we doing? Shay, yes or no? Okay, all right, we're trying to connect with Shay. Full disclosure, we had some issues with our phones. And we've had trouble making phone calls, so we're trying to connect with Shay via a Teams call here, and then we'll see if we can get him on board. All right, guys, y'all work on that. I'm going to move on. We'll do Shay in the next segment. Okay, I got to move on. See, just work that out. Work it out, and we'll get him in 10 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Just work it out. We'll get him in 10 minutes. Let me do the Deshaun McBride piece right here. Phil Steele right now is going through his lists and all of his previews of top position groups and top freshmen and so on and so forth. And lists are lists, and I kind of at times poo-poo lists here, and with good reason. I'll tend to put more credence into what Phil Steele says because it's not really Phil's opinion. It's Phil who, if you listen to him when he comes on the show, he's got his algorithm. He plugs all the data into his computers, and his computers spit out rankings and betting lines and odds and all different types of stuff. So when Phil puts this out there, it's not just like, well, this is someone whose opinion you trust. It's the fact that he's using objective metrics here, that how he puts together all of his handicapping and all of that sort of stuff. And so today, Phil Steele put out his list of the top freshman defensive backs in the country. So this is cornerbacks and safeties. And there was an LSU player on it. It was Deshaun McBride, who was number 24. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, that of all the freshmen, I think McBride is probably the guy, maybe along with Dom McKinley, just because of the position he plays and the need for LSU at defensive tackle. I think those are the guys that I'm most interested in watching. And look, we can make an argument for cornerback as well. But And I'm going to have to correct myself, and I think we're all going to struggle with this, at least for time. So Deshaun McBride is now going by Deshaun Spears. They've officially changed that on the LSU website. So Deshaun McBride from Denham Springs is now going by Deshaun Spears. This is going to be my 18th season covering LSU football. And I can tell you one of the commonalities that I have happen every year when we go out for fall camp. We get our first look at fall camp. I always, on the first day, want to see what freshmen physically stand out. The reason is because you hear about these guys in recruiting for sometimes years, and then they finally get on campus and they're in an LSU uniform. Well, what do they look like? Because I'm not the guy like many of you who aren't going to a lot of different high school games and know what these guys look like. And there's always guys that physically stand out. Like I can tell you the names, like boom, right from jump that jumped out to me. Patrick Peterson was a no-brainer. You looked at him physically and you're like, he looks like a freshman linebacker playing corner. Terrence Tolliver, coming in at 6'5", 6'6". He was so long, he looked like a pterodactyl. That was incredible watching Terrence Tolliver the first day. Corey Thompson, if you remember back to 2011 when LSU missed out on Landon Collins and the big miss, on signing day miss, they ended up replacing him with Corey Thompson, who they flipped from Texas A&M. And Corey Thompson was built like an Adonis. He just had an injury-plagued career at LSU. He was a very good player, just had an injury-plagued time at LSU. Well, now that fall camp sort of eye test has kind of been bumped a little bit to like a spring early enrollee eye test, because so many of the freshmen show up early now in spring. That's just what's happened over the last decade or so in college football. And I can tell you, looking at Deshaun McBride, in spring, it reminded me of looking like Eric Reed. Now, I'm not sitting here making and telling you that Deshaun McBride is going to be is going to be a first-team All-American before his career's done. He may go on to be a first-team All-American and a first-round draft pick. I don't know. But I'm just saying physically. And so I went back and checked today. When Reed graduated Dutchtown, he was 6'2", 210. McBride, finishing Denham, was 6'3", 202. So an inch taller, about 8 pounds lighter, but very comparable physically at that point in their career. Eric Reed was the number 6 safety in the country. Deshaun McBride, the number 7 safety in the country. Eric Reed was the number 58 overall player in the composite. McBride was the number 96 player in the composite, but 247 rated him 54th best overall. So you're talking about two guys that a decade apart are very, very comparable prospects coming out of their local Baton Rouge area high school, coming to LSU playing safety. Blake Baker emphasizes the safety position. I know I've mentioned this before, but his 2 years as DC, and Blake Baker's a linebacker coach, but in his 2 years as the defensive coordinator at Missouri, both years, the top 2 leading tacklers at Missouri were safeties. So the way that defense is structured, and certainly the way it was structured at Missouri, it emphasized the opportunity for the safety position. So I'm looking at Sage Ryan, who's played in 31 career games with a dozen starts. I'm looking at Jordan Gilbert, who's played in 25 career games with a dozen starts, as guys in this defense with an amazing opportunity. But I also, speaking of Eric Reed, remember when he was a freshman in that 2010 defense, Eric Reed played in all 13 games that year, but he didn't start until the final 3. And sometimes it's injury, or sometimes it's just coming of age, and sometimes you look and you say, yeah, I just can't justify not having that guy on the field anymore. And I don't know if that'll happen with Deshaun McBride or Deshaun Spears, but that's a guy who I think there's a very real possibility that by the time you get to November, his role in this defense is dramatically more than it's going to be when LSU plays USC in Las Vegas, because he looks the part physically. He's a smart player, and you can tell this coaching staff likes him a lot, and he's going to be one to watch in fall camp. And Phil Steele seems to like him a lot. Deshaun McBride or Deshaun Spears, freshman safety at LSU, Phil Steele's got in the top 25 freshman defensive backs in the country. Okay, it is After Further Review. Glad to have you here with us. How are we with Shay? Okay, good. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back. When we come back from the break, we'll talk with Shay Dixon. We'll bump around the SEC into the next segment. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Action Industries. Action, INDINC.com for Action Industries Incorporated. Since 1982, servicing the petrochemical and refinery markets. I love telling you about Action Industries. And one of the best things about Action is just they know who they are. Their sweet spot is those 100-person jobs. So like maybe you're a plant manager, you're a turnaround coordinator, and you've hired one of those like mega companies, right, for your 100-person job, and you feel like you're not getting their best because what they're really after, those like $200 million jobs. That's not Action Industries. They know who they are. You have that 100-person job, you are getting their best, you are their top priority. That's Action Industries. And by the way, if you do have those mega projects going on at your plant, they can help supplement the workforce as well. So give them a shout online, actionindinc.com. There's 2 locations, Geismar and Belrose. Check them out. It's Action Industries.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Summer sun over by the gate, Lordy, here she comes with a basket full of chicken and a big cold jug of sweet tea.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, let's check in with Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shea, we appreciate you being flexible, man. How are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. Hey, let's start with the big weekend for LSU on the defensive line. We talked about the 3 guys that LSU landed, and the expectation was they were going to get all 3. They did. Zion Williamson. Shea, I'm going to do it. I think we're all going to do it. Zion Williams, Brandon Brown, and then, of course, Shanklin, the edge out of Indiana. What's the big takeaway from that haul this weekend?
Yes, none of them play for the Pelicans. Yes, Zion Williams. We will be making that mistake. Look, let's start with the edge rusher spot and give Kevin Peoples some flowers here. This is who Blake Baker brought down with him from Missouri. He was the edge rusher coach at Missouri, defensive ends coach, however you want to put it. And really, 2 weeks ago, landed Jesse Harold, a top 100 guy out of Florida, and then turns around and goes into Indiana, grabs the number 1 player in the state and another top 100 edge rusher in Damian Shanklin. And Shanklin picked LSU over a final 3 of Ohio State, Bama, and LSU. So he did all 3 visits. Then he announced. And for him to pick LSU, I think, in the wake of Jesse Harold doing the same, Kevin Peoples, 5 months onto the job, having 2 top 100 edge rushers as his 2 commitments is pretty commendable.
Yeah. The big surprise from the weekend, Shea, had to be Decorian Moore. I don't think many of us expected him to pick LSU, but everyone expected him to pick Texas. Instead, it was Oregon. What went down there?
Hey, you got me, Matt?
Yep. I don't know if you heard the question. I was asking about Decorian Moore.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Moore obviously once committed to LSU back in August, stayed committed till the spring, then reopened things. And for the second time, everybody, in the Texas kind of circle thought he was going to end up with the Longhorns. Obviously, Texas has got some NIL money. A lot of people thought that would be a major factor in it. And then his mom has been adamant publicly that if she were to choose, her choice would be Texas because they have family in Austin, all of that. And what do you know? He goes out and announces for the Oregon Ducks. And look, Dan Lanning is on a hot streak. They landed a 5-star in Dorian Brew at corner. His dad, Derek Brew, ran track at LSU, went on to run in the Olympics as well, gold medalist. But he ends up at Oregon. they've landed a handful of other players in this stretch. And now there's buzz around DJ Pickett. So I just think that Oregon got hot. And at the same time, and it's no secret, they have, say it's Phil Knight money, say it's Nike money, whatever it is, but their NIL push this cycle is, to this point, bigger than anybody else's we've seen, whether that be Texas, Miami, or kind of any other of those kind of 3, 4, 5 schools that are very well known for, hey, we've got some money and we're going to put it into NIL. So we'll see if it sticks. Obviously, look, Corey Moore is the best receiver in the country. So LSU will keep recruiting him. I'm just curious to see if he doesn't stick with Oregon, or are we going to do a round 3 at some point? But yeah, big win for the Ducks there. And LSU kind of moves and has continued to move on to other receivers and make them priorities so that they aren't left at the altar by just chasing a couple of guys.
Shea Dixon's with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger. You're speaking of Oregon, DJ Pickett, the number 1 cornerback in the country. Shea, that the top 2 uncommitted corners are Pickett and Jabari Antoine. LSU's got a hat on the table for both those guys. I know the On3 recruiting prediction machine, which you and I have talked about, has LSU as the favorite, but it feels like there is a lot of momentum for Pickett to Oregon, and he'll announce next week on the 17th. What can you tell us there?
Heading into, this is a guy, when Corey Raymond got hired, and DJ Pickett is from Florida, sort of the Cliff's notes here would be, as soon as he got hired, he visited in January, right before the dead period. Pickett did. And then when I talked to him at the On3 Elite Series a month ago, he said, look, I've visited LSU 5 times now in 5 months, all on my own dime. And now I've got my official in June. And going into that stretch of officials, LSU was considered the team to beat. And this is a guy early on who LSU had in touch with Patrick Peterson's family about going through the process of being a 5-star number 1 corner coming out of Florida. He's been in touch with a number of former LSU players throughout the process. He was on the phone recently with Derek Stingley and others. I mean, they are sort of all the bells and whistles. Patrick Peterson flew in the same weekend DJ Pickett's official visit was. So however you want to describe prioritizing a corner, DJ Pickett, and that's what LSU's done for him. We thought it would be Miami that would be the team to watch as, hey, look, they're in Florida. They've got the NIL money. Maybe they come in at the end, but they could also have a shaky season. For him to push the date up and Oregon to make this big splash that they have, suddenly be into the final 3 and kind of trending in the eyes of many, I think is got LSU in a spot where they're saying, hey, look, we've done all we can. Now we've got to find a way to do even more. So I don't think that Oregon is going to outspend LSU here NIL-wise. And my guess is based upon how much I know he is a need for this staff. I mean, this is a guy with, you want to turn around the corner room, the best corner in America is DJ Pickett. He's the number 3 overall prospect, right behind Bryce Underwood and DeCorian Moore. So this is a guy they've had their sights set on from the start. Hopefully for LSU, it goes their way here in about a week. But again, if it doesn't, if it is Oregon, it's not going to change anything with how badly LSU will want him and will recruit him. But I think we'll know more as we get closer to decision day.
Shea, you were spot on with the 3 defensive linemen that all picked LSU. You got any other Magic 8 Ball sayings over there, predictions for who might be next for LSU?
Yeah,
keeping an eye on?
I love D linemen and O linemen. Very low maintenance. They really will just tell you where they're going, and makes it rather easy to figure out.
Oh man!
But no, the DBs and the receivers, right? They're a little bit more tough. I think that Saturday is one to watch for LSU fans. Derek Meadows, a top 10 receiver who made an official visit to LSU, was thought to be a Notre Dame lock. Now it's come down to LSU and Bama, and I really think LSU's trending in a big way there. Given, look, they've got Bryce Underwood. They had the number 1 offense in college football, all of that. And then at the same time, Philip Wright out of Destrehan, who has an offer, has LSU in his final 3. He's going to announce on Saturday. He had some phenomenal track times in the spring. He came to camp and got injured, pulled up with his hammy during testing, so didn't get to do the 1-on-1s and 7-on-7, but they're still going after him. When you've got a kid like that in Louisiana from Destrehan that's got that kind of speed and that, a lot of his traits fit what they're looking for. So Michigan is kind of trended for a long time as the team that is thought to be the team he will commit to this weekend. We'll see if Frank Wilson and them don't shake that up. And I'll say this, if he commits to Michigan this weekend, I don't think that I'm going to blink an eye. I'll look towards signing day for an in-state kid. My guess is if they continue to push for Philip Wright as much as or as hard as they are right now, I should say, then I expect that he will end up at LSU by signing day.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon or X. Y'all go give him a follow. Make sure you get all your recruiting news there. Shea, we always appreciate the visit, man. Thanks for being flexible today.
Absolutely. Let's talk again next week.
All right, man. We'll look forward to it. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all, and they do it better than anyone. Oh, yeah, they do indoor shutters as well over at Relief Windows. Hey, I want to remind you as well, at Relief Windows, they've got a great new product. It's 3D imaging, whereby you go over to Relief Windows, you go into their headquarters right there on Airline Highway in Prairieville, and you sit down with one of their consultants, and they'll take a 3D model of the home and take the exact windows, the exact siding, the exact door color, everything you want, put it on a 3D model, and you could look at this 360 3D model of the exact windows, door, siding, the exact specifications that you're looking for. So, I mean, if you're visual like me, instead of like just looking at one little panel or thinking what this might look like, you can actually see it. Really cool tool, and it's available for you there over at Relief Windows. Windows, door, siding. Oh, yeah, they do indoor shutters as well at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, we appreciate Shea for a couple of minutes and for being flexible there. We'll keep an eye Saturday on Philip Wright from Destrehan, Derek Meadows, set to make their announcements. For what it's worth, Derek Meadows, who was, again, thought to be a Notre Dame lean, Meadows is 6'6", 205. He's out of Bishop Gorman in Vegas, where Jeremiah Hughes came from. He's the number in the on-3 composite. He's the number 40 overall player in the country. So you're talking about a guy that the number 7 wide receiver, number 1 player in Nevada. So a big-bodied wide receiver. You know, when I talk about if you're going to go out of state for a guy, this is the kind of guy you go out of state for. You'll go to Nevada to get the number 7 wide receiver in the country, a top 40 player nationally, right? And then Philip Wright, I'd love what Shea had to say there. A little different into the spectrum, a smaller wide receiver, from a guy that's 6'6" to a guy that's 5'11", 170 from Destrehan. But again, if Michigan, Georgia, Baylor, Georgia Tech, LSU, those are the teams in on you. You have my attention when Michigan and Georgia are calling your name. So we'll see if LSU can maybe get some work done there with Philip Wright before signing day, if it is, in fact, Michigan this weekend. So we'll keep an eye there. We appreciate Shea, as always. We appreciate you for being with us. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Big shout-out to everybody listening on KLRZ, 100.3 ESPN in New Orleans. Of course, Alexandria is 94.7 ESPN. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles. I'll actually be in Lafayette for the show tomorrow. So for those of you listening in Southwest Louisiana, tomorrow's the 1-year birthday bash for ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles. So the entire lineup will be broadcasting from 520 Rue Jefferson downtown. So I'll be looking forward to being there tomorrow. So if you're in Lafayette and you're around, you want to come pop by and say hello, we'll be doing AFR from 3 to 6 downtown Lafayette at 520 Rue Jefferson. So we're looking forward to it. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break and wrap up hour number 1 next. Here it's AFR.
AFR.
You know that scene from My Cousin Vinny where Joe Pesci's interrogating the guy about his breakfast, and he says how he's able to make fast grits, and he says, maybe I'm a fast cook. And Joe Pesci loses and said, you mean to tell me the law of physics don't apply in your kitchen? I think about that sometimes when it comes to pool building, because over at Duplessis, and I learned this when I sat down with Derek Duplessis, over at Duplessis, Derek, whose background, he's a mechanical engineering degree from LSU with a minor in aerospace engineering. It takes gunite 21 days to cure. It takes 21 days for concrete to cure. So when they spray gunite, they are going to wait 21 days until they move on to the next stage, the tiling and the coping. So they're very upfront. They're building a premium product, and it's going to take 2 months start to finish to build your big, beautiful pool. So if someone says they can do it faster, maybe the laws of physics don't apply to other pool companies. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
It really turns her on. She's always staring at me while I'm chugging along.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, wrapping up hour #1. Big shout out to our friends over at Sunshine. You need that mower? Great time to get on by. Summer's here. The grass is growing crazy. Tired of pushing that mower? Get a mower from John Deere over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. DeJounte Murray was introduced by the Pelicans today. I'll get to what he said here in just a smidge. Right now, though, we shuffled things a bit, moving Shea back a segment. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, this is pretty significant here for Tony Vitello and the defending champs. Tennessee's Hunter Ensley announced he will return for a 5th season with the Vols. Played a key role in Tennessee winning their first national championship last month. He's been starting at center for the Vols for the past 2 seasons at .296 with 12 bombs this past year. Started in 60 of the 68 games he played in.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss has landed a commitment from safety Major Preston out of IMG down in Bradenton. He is a 3-star, 5'11", 170, committed originally, or silently I should say, back in May, but publicly has now announced his pledge. He's the 783rd overall prospect, the 64th best safety.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia landed an intriguing addition to its 2024 signing class. They got a commitment from former elite basketball recruit Jazair Jackson. He's a 6'11" offensive tackle. So Jackson spent the last 3 years playing basketball with Overtime Elite in Atlanta. and was preparing for the NBA draft. Well, when he kind of realized his NBA dream wasn't going to happen, he decided to pivot and go back to his first sport, football. But he's 6'11", 340. According to the D1 database, he's just the fourth Division I football player 6'11" or taller since 2017. So rarity to see a guy that big. This fall, a developmental year for Jackson, but in year 2, he plans to compete for starting reps at Georgia with the eye of entering the 2025 NFL Draft. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. I love telling you about Supper Club. Y'all, yesterday was my birthday, so over the weekend on Saturday, me and the fam went over to Supper Club. There were 11 of us. It was me, Erica, my parents, my in-laws, Erica's 2 sisters, their husbands. We had an awesome night, man. It was fantastic. We had the private room, which I would highly, highly, highly recommend if you have about a dozen guests or so and you all want something a little more private. Y'all, Supper Club can accommodate darn near anything. You want a romantic night, one of those side booths is cool. You want to just have a fun, casual night, you can go to the bar. There's always open seating at the bar. You want some privacy, go ahead and call ahead there. If you're watching, that's the private room right there, the picture that just scanned across. But it was so awesome to have that many people because so many people ordered different things, and we all ended up trying each other's dinner. So, like, I had one of the Sagrera cut steaks from Sagrera Farms up in Ethel that we tell you about all the time, where they get the full animal and butcher it in-house at Supper Club. My parents each had the veal parmesan. My in-laws both had a piece of Chilean sea bass. Brother-in-law ended up having the lamb chops. Man, no matter what it is that you want, we were able to order, a half dozen sides and just share. So we got to experience so much of what Supper Club has to offer. Y'all, it's so fun. It's such a fun vibe where, it's just not the stodgy white tablecloth fine dining experience, which a lot of people like. But if you want the fine dining and all the elegance that's also fun, it's Supper Club. So get your reservation at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Remember, open seating at the bar. You don't need a reservation to go into the bar area. You don't have to wear a jacket, although I wore a jacket. Half of our party, the men were wearing sport coats, half weren't. The stated dress code is collar, nice jeans, or slacks. So you want to go today? They open back up today. They're open Tuesday to Saturday. You want to go today and have a cocktail after work or a glass of wine, go do it over at Supper Club. Or book your reservation today, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. They took great care of us for my birthday over the weekend. We had an awesome time. You'll enjoy your next event there at Supper Club. DeJounte Murray was introduced today. We're going to break that out? I guess we got to. Yeah, this is my first time.
I was like, I figured we'd give it a try.
Did y'all do it last week?
We didn't. So I was like, I figured I'd give it a try.
Why not? Why didn't you do it last week?
Well, I was up there, so it's just easier for me to do it.
So you couldn't tell somebody where the button was?
It's just easier this way.
You couldn't tell someone how to push a button?
I could have, but again, it's just easier this way. I don't remember. It could have been Alondra. It could have been Jordan. I don't remember.
If it was either one of them, you mean to tell me you couldn't tell them just to push a button?
I just said I could, but this is just easier.
But you're not there.
What are you talking about?
You weren't there when you were here. When you were here, you weren't there.
Right. That's why this is easier. So you got to tell them to push a button. Well, it's impossible when you're here for you to push the button. It's not easier. It's not possible. It's someone else who sit there can push a button. You got to tell them to push the button when you say DeJounte Murray.
Murray, present.
I like it, by the way.
I do too.
Yeah.
Sometimes the radio gods, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because we've had several iterations of the Murray present, haven't we?
Because, yeah, I mean, it started with Latavius.
Well, and Latavius Murray ended up having
Murray present
2 different iterations.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
he left and came back.
Yep.
And now we got DeJounte Murray.
Murray present.
Oh, I like it so much. Here's what David Griffin had to say about DeJounte Murray and what the Pels are getting. Oh, you missed one.
I and our coaching staff and front office group, when we got together in the offseason and talked about where are the opportunities for us to improve, the vast majority of those questions ended with one answer, and it was DeJounte Murray, a player who is a bona fide closer, an all-star, an all-defensive performer, somebody who's going to be a two-way closer, somebody that's going to be on the court for incredibly large playoff victories for us at the end of the game, and that's really meaningful to us.
There was a lot that DeJounte Murray talked about in this press conference. But the thing I think everybody wants to know is what it's going to be like playing with Zion.
That's our superstar, and I'm excited to push him. I told him I'm going to push him, and this goes back before
I was joining the team. You know, we exchanged numbers and had conversations, and it was never about, oh, come to New Orleans or this or that. You know, he was somebody who reached out and he wanted to learn certain things, and you want that from somebody that's young that think, you know, they don't know everything and they're willing to be a sponge. That just shows who he is as a person and how much he wants it. And when I say that, how much he wants to win and be great as an individual, but also for his team. So I'm excited to push him to the next level because he has a bunch of levels he could reach.
You know the old saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not going to sit here and sell you on anything with New Orleans. I'm not going to sell you on them being a contender in the West, contender in the division, any of it. I'm excited to see it. You got a bona fide all-star and a bucket getter, and you needed that. We'll see how it all comes together, but I love the addition. All right, hour number 2 is next.
AFR.
You know, for years I've told you, use that patented non-toxic dry fog to kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, to sanitize your spaces. Well, my partners over at Parrish have now partnered with Jim Woodworth to create Parrish Restoration. So Mold Zero became Pure Restoration. Now it's Parrish Restoration. One website, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Go to parishbuilt.com and hit the Restoration tab right there on the homepage, and you'll see all the info. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers report on the patented non-toxic dry fog. You can see examples of their work, get great testimonials. The bottom line is, y'all, it's easy, it's affordable, it's cost-effective, it's efficient. They can be in and out of your house in a couple hours. I mean, it's half a day, maybe. And they've also dry fogged the second largest building in the state of Louisiana. Check them out at parishbuilt.com. Parishbuilt.com for Parrish Restoration.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another NBA Max deal is done. Pistons guard Cade Cunningham's agreed to a 5-year, $224 million rookie extension. Reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski could be worth as much as $269 million. Klay Thompson today made his first public comments as a Dallas Maverick. At today's introductory news conference, he spoke of his emotional breakup with the Warriors after 13 years and 4 NBA championships. He also talked about having a fresh start with new teammates and being excited about what's ahead. And there's certainly one area he will improve Dallas, notes ESPN senior NBA writer Zach Lowe.
Their upside is higher because their shooting is going to be so much better with Klay on the floor. He is going to feast on open looks from Luka and Kyrie. Offensively, it's going to be a great fit.
NFL Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott addressed recent photos showing him wearing a walking boot, said it was precautionary. His surgically repaired ankle a little sore after a few days of hard training. Spain beat France 2-1 to advance to the Euro 2024 final to face either England or the Netherlands on Sunday.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Taylor Sharp.
Every girl crazy about his shine that's
You, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We're heading out to L.A. in 1 hour. David Carchi is going to be with us here. Get a little thumbnail preview on USC, how the offseason's going for the Trojans, as we're about 8 weeks away from kickoff of LSU and Southern Cal out in Las Vegas for that season opener. By the way, I know we told you several weeks ago about our buddy Jason Ramazan, Mr. Fun's Travel. I talked to Jason over the weekend. I think there's like single-digit spots left. Maybe he could fit like 8 to 10 more on the plane. So if you're thinking about going to Las Vegas, you're having trouble with flights and airfare and hotel and all that stuff, Mr. Fun's Travel has everything. Charter air, Baton Rouge to Las Vegas, leaving Thursday, returning on Monday. Game ticket, hotel stay at Aria. If you bus transportation to and from airport, game, all that stuff. And if you want to build your own package, like if you just want the flight, you didn't have your own hotel, you could do all that. Anyway, go to mrfunstravel.com, mrfunstravel.com, mrfunstravel.com. I know we have the info on all of our social media as well, but again, there's only I think literally 8 or 10 spots total left. So if you're interested, would highly recommend you jump on that. Don't wait to get on that. As we inch closer to the start of the football season, one of the things that I think is going to be really interesting as far as a national talking point for the NFL is going to be the quarterbacks that were injured last year and those coming off of injury. And there were a lot of them a year ago. Aaron Rodgers was injured 3 plays into the year. We all know, of course, Joe Burrow. Kirk Cousins was injured. Now he's back with Atlanta. Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson. You had a lot of quarterbacks. Kyler Murray's coming off, the ACL. You had a lot of quarterbacks injured last year, and the starting quarterbacks injured in the NFL. So the comeback player of the year conversation is going to be really interesting. And Joe Burrow was a guest on Pardon My Take, and they kind of not necessarily talking about comeback player of the year, but hinted about Burrow. Burrow didn't mince words at all about what he feels about what's coming this year.
Do you think people have forgotten about Joe Burrow?
I believe that.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get hurt, though. You don't play football, people forget about you.
Yeah.
That's part of the game. If you're not out there and people aren't watching you, then there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give people something to talk about this year. I'm excited about it.
Okay. I'm going to give people something to talk about this year. I believe him. When Joe Burrow's been healthy, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The problem is he hasn't been able to stay healthy during his NFL career. For what it's worth, this is at DraftKings. They have their odds of the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Probably not a surprise, but Aaron Rodgers actually leads the list at plus 125. After Rodgers is Joe Burrow at plus 250. Kirk Cousins at plus 500. Anthony Richardson. Odd to see Anthony Richardson that high at plus 600. Then like a giant drop-off. Nick Chubb, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold. Those are the others that have odds. Darnold's down there with Murray at plus 3,000. Murray? Do we do it for Kyler Murray?
Murray, present.
Is it everybody named Murray?
Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it that way.
Let's try it again.
Okay.
All right, hang on.
Go for it.
So, then there's the big drop-off, and you got Nick Chubb at plus 1,200, then Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and Sam Darnold. No?
I don't hate it. It's not my favorite, though, I'll be honest.
Taylor's got opinions about everything. What do you think, Taylor?
I kind of agree with Moose. Keep it to, like, Louisiana athletes named Murray.
I don't know. I feel like when Latavius Murray left
Murray, present.
the Saints and went to the Raiders, or did he go to the Vikings, one of those spots?
I think it was the Vikings.
No.
No?
He went to the Ravens.
He did go to the Ravens.
He came
one of the purple teams.
He came from the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right?
No, he went Raiders, Vikings, Saints.
Raiders, Vikings, Saints.
Ravens.
Saints. There was someone else mixed in there, too.
You make another team
Buffalo
or
Bills.
another Murray?
The Bills.
Bills. It was the Bills. I don't know, but I feel like even when he wasn't playing for the Saints and we had reason to mention Latavius Murray, we still use the drop.
Present.
But you still use Todd Peterson too, right?
Of course we do.
Ted Peterson. We thought he was going to get me. He didn't.
See, we still use Todd Peterson, and Todd Peterson's not a Louisiana athlete
But it's the
anymore.
Todd Peterson drop.
Doesn't matter.
And it originally was the Latavius Murray drop.
Doesn't matter.
And then it just became the Murray drop.
If there was another guy somewhere in the world named Todd Peterson who was relevant to
Ted
talk about,
Peterson. There
By the
has
way,
to be another
well,
guy
I'll tell
named
you
Todd
this.
Peterson.
Here you go. You ready for this?
Very generic
So, my dear friend Carly McCord, Carly's sister, Kaylee, is married to Todd Peterson.
Peterson.
I mean, however, it's Todd Peterson with a D.
Ted Peterson.
Not with a T. It's not Peterson. It's
Peterson.
So now it rolls off the tongue and sounds the same.
Yeah. I feel like I wish I could take that drop that we just played back because it's not the same name.
Sounds the same.
Sounds the same. But it's not.
That would be a homophone, right? Homophone is when it sounds the same but spelled differently.
Ooh, I think.
A homonym would be the same name with a different meaning, like caliber. The size of a gun and the quality of the work would be caliber. That'd be a homonym when the name is the same. A homophone is when it sounds the same.
Says homophone, each of two or more words having the same pronunciation but different meanings. Yes. What's the one that's spelled the same backwards as it is?
That's a palindrome.
Palindrome.
Yeah,
like
race car.
Yeah.
Mom.
Dad.
Yeah.
I like palindromes.
LOL.
Those are fun.
Palindromes.
Those are really fun.
Yeah, palindromes. I like onomatopoeia as well.
I just like to say that.
Onomatopoeia. That's so when you spell out a sound like swoosh.
Yeah.
That's onomatopoeia. I'm right on that, right? Onomatopoeia is when you spell out a sound? I'm pretty sure. Look that up. Yeah, check that for me.
Yeah, doing it right now. Let's
okay.
The formation of a word from a sound associated with what it is named. It says cuckoo, sizzle as the examples.
Swoosh.
Swoosh.
Mrs. Heron would be so proud of me right now. My freshman and sophomore high school English teacher over at Catholic High. Shout out NPH, Nancy P. Heron. She's on everything NPH. Shout out. I still remember. By the way, I was going to talk about Joe Burrow and then Michael Thomas going to the Cowboys potentially because I know Taylor was going to be jacked about this, but we got sidetracked. Some they were talking about Kyler Murray and playing the Kyler Murray drop.
Murray, present.
The other thing from that Joe Burrow interview that was so interesting, and pardon my take, is they started talking. So you realize, the Olympics are coming up this summer, and then oh God, I should have waited and done the LSU Olympic thing here, but I'm down the road now.
You don't think we could still do it? We have the Michael Thomas thing.
But I'm sure
it's late.
Oh, why did I do that? See, this is what happens when you plan out a show and then things get thrown into the wood chipper and then things get all spit up a little bit. But anyway, so how about this? In that interview on Pardon My Take, Joe Burrow talked about how he wants to be an Olympian in 2028. We'll tell you in what sport and how that might be possible after the break.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel, the Watermark Hotel, two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Shout out to the Watermark Hotel. I've told you forever the Watermark is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Well, you don't have to take my word for it. Best of 225 just came out. You know it was voted the best hotel in Baton Rouge? The Watermark. It is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. So if you have guests coming in from out of state, you want them to stay at the best hotel in Baton Rouge, send them to the Watermark downtown. Or maybe if you're having like a little staycation, you're not getting out of town, but you want some time away from home this summer, how about if you book a night at the Watermark, you stay downtown, you eat there at the Gregory, have cocktails at the bar, you people watch a little bit, enjoy some of what downtown Baton Rouge has to offer. It's the Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge. Of course, it's the Watermark and the Renaissance Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet. Tell you all the time, if you're looking to host an event, call my friend Allison Crump over at the Renaissance. They say we're in the business of saying yes. They'd love to host your next event at the Renaissance Hotel.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Take it to the barn, put it up for the night.
Climb up in the loft, sit and talk with the radio on. She says
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Man, rice and corn harvest about to kick off in southwest Louisiana, so good luck to all the farmers there in southwest Louisiana. We appreciate you for tuning in on 103.7 ESPN Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles. And looking forward to being in Lafayette tomorrow for AFR. Of course, our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Wishing all the farmers good luck with harvest right around the bend. And we're looking forward to being in Lafayette for the show tomorrow. We'll be at 520 Rue Jefferson in downtown Lafayette. So if you're in Lafayette, you're there in the 337, come hang out and say hello. We'd love to see you. It's 1 year anniversary of flipping formats over there to well, I shouldn't say formats, but flipping to the ESPN affiliation. So looking forward to going and celebrating with our friends there in Lafayette. Joe Burrow was on Pardon My Take. If you were here at the end of the last segment, we let you hear a little bit about Joe Burrow talking about what his expectations are for this coming season. He's got the second best odds for comeback player of the year behind only Aaron Rodgers. So I'm pretty big believer in Joe Burrow. If he stays healthy, he's going to have a fantastic season. The other thing that Joe Burrow said in this interview, and Pardon My Take, that got a lot of attention, was the fact that he would like to be an Olympian. Now, the Paris Games are coming up in a few weeks here for 2024, but the 2028 games of flag football is going to be an Olympic sport. And Joe Burrow says he wants to play.
I really want to play for the Olympic flag football team, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Like me, Jamar, Justin.
Now you're just naming your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and my friends out there playing flag football.
Well, it's funny
in
because
the Olympics.
if Joe's a guy that could be like, yeah, me and like my best friends could beat anybody in the world in football.
It's true.
Which is a cool thing to say.
That's a very cool thing to say.
I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think you can do it. I mean, we can't lose. We can't lose the gold medal the first time that we have that in the Olympics. It just can't happen.
That would be embarrassing.
He's right. What I don't know is if NFL players are going to be able to play. Number one, will the International Olympic Committee allow NFL players to play flag football? I don't know that, number one. Number two, that is going to overlap with training camp, right? I mean, training camp starts end of July, beginning of August. Like, that is a strict conflict with the start of NFL training camps. Like, I don't think in 2028 the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be super pumped about Joe Burrow not being there. Now, what Mike Detillier often says about practice is for the unskilled. So I kind of get it. It's the difference though with the NBA guys, right? Like July and August, that's your off season. I mean, you're just giving up your off season to go represent your country. In the NFL, like, that's training camp. That's a little harder to justify. But if you actually, like, I don't know what the rest of the world, do either of you know, like, what does the rest of the world do in flag football? Does anybody know? Are there leagues?
I have no clue.
Taylor, can you Google real quick to see if there are leagues? Are there international flag football? There must be if there's going to be a sport.
I bet Canada definitely probably has one.
Yeah,
well, because they have the Canadian Football League and everything like that. Yeah, so I gotta imagine they definitely do.
Canada?
I
don't really care what the rest of the world does, though. If we have NFL players playing flag football, that would be the closest thing to the dream team in '92 that we could possibly see. Because it doesn't matter what the rest of the world does. Like, we just said it out loud and laughed about it. Can you imagine anybody from, like, Indonesia trying to cover Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson? Like, imagine some dude from Latvia who's out in the open field against Christian McCaffrey. Like, it's just not going to go well for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not. So, I mean, that's like guys from the Senegal trying to D up Michael Jordan at the top of the key. That's why the Dream Team won by an average of 44 points per game. Like, that's what would happen in Olympic flag football if the NFL stars are allowed to play in the game, which I hope they are. But, yeah, what you got, Tim?
According to the International Flag Football Association, more than 100 countries participate in flag football and have, like, organized federations.
All right. I mean, it has to be, right? If it's going to be an Olympic sport, there would have to be some organized efforts around the country, but around the world. But, Mike, look, speak of the devil. They just showed Justin Jefferson. There's Tyreek Hill. There's Tyreek Hill. George Kittle. Like, what are you going to do in the open field with Tyreek Hill?
I want to see it so bad.
It's 4 years from now. I mean, maybe Tyreek Hill and Justin and Jamar aren't like, maybe in 4 years they're not like the best in the world. Maybe they still are. I mean, they're still young guys in their late 20s. But, I mean, imagine who's Malik Neighbors.
Right, yeah.
Right? Malik Neighbors would be like fifth-year pro, Malik entering year 5, and there's Malik Neighbors out there against some dude from the Republic of Georgia. Come on, bro. Like, if you got someone from the University of Georgia,
Then we're
okay,
talking. We're
the Republic of Georgia, probably not going to go super hot for you,
No.
dude. Anyway.
No.
In the meantime, there have been a lot of you that have asked for sort of a rundown of LSU athletes that are competing in the Olympics. I'll get to that in a second. We're brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Honest to goodness, true story. As I'm sitting here, I just got we have our whole Parrish team is on a big text chain. And we just recently got some Google reviews in. And so Richard, one of my partners, screen grabbed like the three most recent ones. All for our guy, Zach. Rose said they did an amazing job. Zach walked us through our first roof replacement. It was great. Janelle said, quote, I cannot express enough how great this company is. Zach and everyone at Parrish. Alice said, Zach and Linda were very professional, helpful on replacing the roof in our home. I'm telling you, I love our team. They're amazing. Linda, by the way, is an insurance expert who was an adjuster and comes from the insurance sector. So she will hold your hand through the entire process if you're filing an insurance claim. Like, our goal at Parrish Construction and Roofing is if you have roof damage or think you might, from the moment you call us, the only thing we need you to do is pick a shingle color. We'll come out to your home. We'll do the inspection. We'll meet your insurance adjuster. We'll work to get your claim approved. Once it's approved, you just pick out a shingle color. Our crews will take care of everything from there. And we even, like, if you have a pool, one of the extensive services we provide, if you have a pool, we'll always pay to have your pool cleaned when we're done replacing your roof. Because, let's just be honest, it's a very intrusive process, like ripping the roof off of your home and replacing it. It's loud and intrusive. And we want to try to make this as pain and intrusive free and disruptive free as we possibly can. So we try to go the extra mile for every single one of our customers. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Visit parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com, commercial or residential, industrial roofs as well. We'd love to help you out. Just go to the website at parrishbuilt.com. That's parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. All right, hit me with my Olympic music, Muse. We're getting close to this. I could not be more fired up than I am right now. The Olympics are almost here. Every 4 years, we pretend to care about sports we don't actually care about because we have the opportunity to drape ourselves in the red, white, and blue and go to bat to crush foreigners, to exert our dominance over them in every sport, everything that matters or doesn't, because it's all about whipping foreigners' behinds when it comes to the Olympics. So every 4 years, or better yet, I should say every 2 years, because we do it in the summer winter games as well. The winter games. But the winter, we don't really do well in the winter games, do we?
I think the U.S. finished second last year. I'm pretty sure.
Did Russia win it?
Probably. Well, no, because they can't compete under their flag because they're a bunch of cheaters.
Was that just the summer?
I think it was both. Actually, I think this year they can, though. They're still a bunch of cheaters.
I still feel like we're not very good at the Winter Olympics. We just don't have a lot of territory that's covered in snow.
No.
There's a couple good, like, women's figure skaters, but outside of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And one of you could look up the medal count from Winter Life last year. Be good.
It was 2022, right?
Hey, Siri, what was the Olympic winter medal count from 2022? Let's see what she says here. 25 medals. Team USA won 2 more medals in 2018. Still see overall decline of 37 medals.
All right, so they kind of stink.
That's what I'm saying. We stink at the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all. Yeah. So let's go whip some foreigners in the summer. The sports that actually matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not some guy like skiing across a landscape and falling on his belly and shooting a gun at a target. What is that?
I actually like that.
Sport.
That's actually really fun.
Give me cloth and nuss, spiking balls in people's face. Stuff. Give me something that matters. Give me Katie Ledecky finishing 5 minutes before anybody else. When everybody's swimming left, she's already going right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give me that.
She's already just on the medal stand while they finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, guys, I got
She's
dinner
so
in
good.
15. She's so good.
She's so good.
All right, so Muse, a lot of people have asked about the former LSU athletes that'll be competing in Paris. When are our opening ceremonies, by the way?
Opening ceremonies, they're July 22nd. I want to say I'll check it for you though.
Muse, you're handling the Olympic update. You need to be.
Yes.
You need to be. You need to be
Sorry,
prepped on this. Sharpen up your skills.
Opening ceremony is July 24th.
Yeah, you were way off.
I was off by 2 days.
That's way off.
This is not way off.
What are you doing?
I had to restart the song.
You know what you could do, Muse? You could dub the song.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So you have it on a button.
We'll do that
Or
for the
over
update.
there in Adobe so you don't have to keep rewinding it every time. All right. So a lot of people have asked how many former LSU Tigers are competing in the Olympics. I said, Muse, go find this answer. What do we have, Muse? Let's go.
We got a lot. We got over 20 former Tigers, 24 to be exact. Let's start with swimming and diving. They have the most. 11 current or former Tigers from swimming and diving. Adrian Garcia, his first Olympics. He's competing for Spain, the 3-meter synchro swim.
Okay.
Shout out. Pavel Alvatki.
I think it's Pavel. P-A-V-E-L?
Could be Pavel.
Like
Pavel.
Pavel.
I don't speak Moldovan.
Like Pavel Bure.
Yeah. He's
Pavel
competing.
Bure, who's married to Candace Cameron Bure. DJ Tanner.
Yeah, DJ
Pavel.
Tanner.
It's a very
yes.
common name, Pavel.
Yes. Anyway, he is competing for Moldova. His first Olympics, the 400-meter freestyle. Juan Celaya Hernandez competing for Mexico. Okay, well, we wanted to go through them all.
Yeah, you can go through who they are. I don't need like.
Okay, fine. Brooks Curry, Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
Brooks Curry.
Curry,
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
he's back.
Yeah,
you knew he was coming back. Here we go. Jovan Lakic from Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is just awesome. Sabrina Lynn of Jamaica. Shout out.
These are all swimmers
and divers.
Wow.
Maggie McNeil,
look
Canada.
At that. There she is.
Maggie McNeil, Canada.
Okay. Maggie McNeil we had in studio. Maggie is the one who, if I'm not mistaken, no. It was an LSU soccer player who won gold.
But she was Canadian, right?
She was Canadian. She was from Canada. And I got to wear her medal here in studio. I forgot her name.
For what it's worth, Maggie McNeil is
Dag
going for
nabbit.
her fourth medal. She's an Olympic vet.
Good. Love to see that.
Chiara Pellicani.
Okay.
Shout out to her for Italy, no doubt.
Hey,
Lizzie Roussel.
Italiano.
Lizzie Roussel, New Zealand.
And babe Liz.
Elle Tuxen, Norway.
Okay.
All
Look
right.
at Elle. Look at Elle rocking the LSU. The L rocking the LSU swimsuit there.
With the
Elle, go
Norway
get it.
flag. Like
But not really. I want America to whip your behind, Elle.
Well,
I'm not pulling for the LSU girl.
Okay.
At all.
Okay. Beach volleyball.
Go USA!
Kristen. I got to put that back on the button too. That might have
When
that
the British
actually.
guy pretended to care about the U.S.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Dark. Ian Dark.
Lyndon Donovan.
That's his.
Go USA!
All right.
Shut up.
Kristen Nuss, Taryn Cloth. We know that. Beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Track it.
Evermore endorsers there. Cloth and Nuss there.
Cloth and Nuss.
Evermore drinkers and endorsers. You want to go to the Olympics in sand volleyball? You know what you do?
Drink Evermore.
You drink Evermore. It's on the label. You're guaranteed to go to the Olympics. Not really.
Track and field, Mondo Duplantis, obviously of Sweden, looking for a second Olympic gold. Tima God Bless, one of 3 competing for Nigeria. Mr. Jumps, Javon Harrison, naturally Team USA.
Let's
Shaquem
go.
McKay, all for Trinidad and Tobago. Favor Ofili, Nigeria.
Okay.
I practiced this one. I really hope I don't mess it up. Ella Anajuwevo. Ella Awanajuwevo. Nigeria, and Sha'Carri Richardson,
Let's go.
Team USA. Aaliyah Finnegan, Jim,
Let's go.
Philippines.
Let's go.
Haley Van Lith, 3-on-3 basketball for Team USA.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Shout out.
HVL going there.
Shout out.
Big 3-on-3.
Duop Reith, basketball for Australia. Tremont Waters, basketball for Puerto Rico. And wrapping it up, Neil Skupski for tennis. Back, his second Olympics for Great Britain.
All right, Neil. Good luck to all the Tigers, except for the ones that aren't competing for the U.S. Because if you're not competing for the U.S., I don't care that you went to LSU. I hope you get skunked. I hope the red, white, and blue wraps you up in an American flag and drags you out back and kicks the snot out of you. That's what I hope. All right, it's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. By the way, the new Darren James mobile app is live in your app store right now, and I've told you for years. Agent 225 is the most user-friendly real estate website in real estate. Well, the Darren James app is the most user-friendly app in real estate. If you are thinking about selling your home, if you're looking to buy a home, it doesn't matter if you're just into real estate. Download the Darren James app right now. Just go to your app store, type in Darren James. 2 names that are really easy to spell, Darren James. And you can get everything. You can search homes, look up preferred vendors. You can learn more there. And as you scroll down, you'll see a ton of really helpful and easy to use guides. Like if you want to learn about creating your wish list, if you want to learn more about agents, their roles, what they cost, you want to learn more about mortgages. It's a one-stop shop. It's the Darren James app in your app store, free right now. Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept secret in town is out.
She's even kind of crazy about my farmer's tan. She's the only one who really understands what gets me. She thinks my tractor's sexy. Well, she ain't into cars or pickup.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, glad to have you rolling along with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. You know, sometimes a great day when you're hopping off that tractor, finishing up the day. Maybe you crack open a little bit of the brown water, pour it in a glass, and enjoy. Well, my buddy David Steele from the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge in studio with me right now. Normally, we have our Whiskey Wednesday segment, but this is a special Tuesday installment because every year the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge does a really great thing. Actually, what y'all do all the time is really great, which is basically just people that really like drinking whiskey, and you've found a way to turn people's love for whiskey into a fundraising mechanism to do great things for charities, which is awesome. So welcome. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Absolutely. I'm going to let you real quick give me the elevator pitch of what is Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge. Go.
All right. So Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, we're just a nonprofit social club. We hang out. We drink lots of whiskey together. We do fun stuff, and we raise money for charity. You know, we incorporated back in 2019. Since then, we raised over $400,000 for local charities.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
What year?
2019.
Since 2019, $400K raised for what charities?
So our biggest one is Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
We've raised 180-ish for them alone. Alzheimer's services in the capital area. We also do a screw cancer charity every year, so that's what we're going to sip today. And every year we a different cancer charity.
I love it, man.
So,
so last year, whenever the screw, so how many years is screw cancer? This is 4.
Year.
So I'm going to let you talk about this bottle and what you all do at Sugarfield here in a second. But so last year, whenever this bottle came out, I believe it was T-Bob and I were doing scone and tea over at Oliver Twist. And so we cracked it open there and sampled it. And everyone, I bought a bottle every year, and they've all been fantastic. But let's talk a little bit about what the screw cancer bottle is.
So, to be honest, my dad passed away from cancer 8 years ago. And it's just always bugged me. It's always something I've wanted to try and come to terms with his death, and let's raise some money for cancer. So that's where it literally started, just screw cancer. And actually this year, I'm very excited. He passed away from pancreatic cancer, and this year the funds are going towards families with pancreatic cancer.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be Cancer Services, which is an amazing organization. They do a ton of work. And we reached out to them, and we said we really wanted to go to pancreatic cancer. Every year it's a different cancer. First year was LLS. Last year was prostate cancer. And then our second year was women's gynecological cancers. So it's just a different cancer every year. This is the one that means the most to me because it's the one that we lost my dad from. This is how the idea got started. But yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, well, we have a sample. So we'll raise a glass to your dad. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
And I would like to talk a little bit. Go ahead and go ahead. No, please, by all means, you talk, and then I'll talk while you sip, and then we'll switch. Let's talk about how you got Sugarfield Spirits involved.
So Sugarfield, they're a great local distillery. They're in Gonzales, Louisiana. I met Thomas about a year before they even opened the doors, and we were just like, let's partner up on stuff. Let's do some barrel picks. And really I just decided we've done several barrel picks, and then we bought barrels, but we're like, let's do something more. Let's do a screw cancer. Let's really come up with a unique finish that you can't get anywhere else. This very limited type of offering, and let's try and do that. And they kind of love the idea. Thomas, he owns the distillery. He's their head distiller. He also is a doctor. So, that's something near and dear to him as well.
So I took a sip. What proof? 120, 125, I'm guessing. 126.1.
114.1.
Wow, okay.
It is cast, though.
That's fantastic. And you have to have some type of it's sweet.
Yeah.
There's a how's it finished?
So this one is the craziest one we've done yet. Every year it's always crazier. This one is a blend of 6-year-old bourbon finish and cognac.
Okay, there it is.
6-year-old bourbon finish and sherry.
Okay, there it is.
Blended them together.
That's
and then
awesome.
They have a honey liqueur that they started aging in a barrel. So we took that blend sherry cognac, put it in a honey liqueur barrel for like 3 months.
I love it. So it's a liqueur, like an after dinner drink.
Yeah.
You get that sweetness in it. So I love that. I love I do love weeded bourbons. I love sort of the soft sweet. And I love whiskeys that are finished in. I know some of the Boss Hogs have done like Armagnac and Cognac and all
awesome stuff
so
like that.
You get. I love when you can get the full bodied punch, but you also get a little sweet in there as well.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we were going for.
That is that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you are in my wheelhouse with this one. Okay, so. And if someone buys the bottle, explain what they're buying. Because I know it's the bottle, it's the case, it's everything.
We have this really cool designer box that comes with it. Red 6 Media designs that. We have this beautiful labeled, and then you get the whole package, both of those, and then we do a rare whiskey raffle with every charity event. That's how we raise the bulk of our money. and you get 5 tickets for our raffle.
That's awesome. And it's worth mentioning too that when you buy the bottle, like it's also the donation.
Yeah,
that's going to
$80 from every bottle is going to go to cancer services.
So how much is the bottle?
So it's $175.
So $175 with 80 up. So you're paying for the whiskey, you get the box, you get the tickets for the raffle.
Yeah.
And of course it's going to
cancer services.
With $80 from every bottle going to cancer services.
Yeah. Plus, when you think about that, the raffle tickets, that's 5. That's $50 on value. Our raffle this year, it's the best cancer raffle we've done yet.
Oh, cool.
We have a Lot B. So that's Van Winkle Lot B. We have Thomas Handy, George C. Stack, some old Fitzgerald, Wellers, Blantons, you name it, we got a lot of it in there.
All right, I'm at the website, which is bourbonbr.com.
Yep.
Just bourbonbr.com.
Google bourbon and Baton Rouge, you'll find us.
No doubt. Walk me through where I go on the website, or how do I get tickets?
Or
how do I buy the bottle?
Kind of confusing. We actually have, because we have a nonprofit. We're 2 different organizations.
Okay.
So the other one's on our other website,
Okay.
which is bsobrfoundation.com.
Okay, so that's where we're going for the screw cancer. BSOBR. So it's Be Sober.
Yeah.
Of course, BSOBR Foundation.com. Foundation.com. So BSOBRfoundation.com. I'm glad I asked because I was looking at the website. I'm like, I should be able to find it pretty easily. I'm not finding it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is. So go to so if you're watching, here's the website right here. It's bsobrfoundation.com. And we'll make sure we post this to all of our social media channels as well. You'll see right there at the top, there's Screw Cancer 2024. And there's the info on the whole thing right there. And then how you can buy your bottle. So beautiful picture of the bottle and the case right there as well. And the link, which will take you right to where you can go to buy your bottle, your tickets. Oh, and there's all the raffle
bottles.
Oh, wow. Old Fitz. Did I see that's an Old Fitz 19?
That's the Old Fitz 19.
My goodness. What a
It's a
great,
Willett
great,
Family
great.
Estate 7 year, sorry. 7 year, Stag Jr., Woodford, Cash Strength. I mean, it's just tons of great whiskeys.
That is that's phenomenal. And again, the most important thing, and one of the reasons I like being able to help with this, and we talk about it a little bit, David, is all the thing. Obviously, I have a love for whiskey as well. Everybody knows that, but the way that you've been able to take something that's a hobby for a lot of people and do something great, and for things that touch everybody. Look, everybody's been touched by cancer. My mom's a breast cancer survivor. Like literally all of us in here and everyone listening knows or has been touched by someone with cancer. So it's very relatable and it's a cool thing to do. And by the way, this would also be like a great, if you want to buy the bottle and gift it to someone who loves whiskey, what a cool gift as well. So and it's a one-off. It's like once it's done.
Yeah.
How many bottles
we had 150 released or for pre-order, and I think we've already sold about 40.
So there's only 150 total.
Yeah, 150 total. And
So literally there's only
40 gone.
110 bottles of this left. So if you want to buy it, we'll raise a bunch of money for cancer research. And maybe if you drink it yourself or give it as a gift to someone, it's a great way to do it. You get the raffle tickets as well. So again, bsobrfoundation.com, bsobrfoundation.com. And I'll make sure we share it on all of our socials. Before you go, Bourbon Festival coming up this fall.
September 14th. South Carolina is away. It's at 11 a.m. Go to LaBerge, watch the game downstairs at their bar, and then come hang out with us afterwards.
Bro, how lucky did you get with that being? Like when you heard that was going to be an 11 a.m. kickoff.
I can't even so this is our 3rd year in a row we've been lucky. Because first year was Arkansas, last year was Missouri,
Yeah.
and then I know we don't have this luck again. That's the problem. It's like we're not going to be this lucky next year. I know that.
Hey man, knock on wood. No, I wouldn't. I mean, look, if it keeps going down this way, that's how it could happen, man. But anyway, so it is. It's the day of the South Carolina game. It's at LaBerge. It's upstairs in the event center at LaBerge. Tickets available on the same.
Yep. Go to LouisianaBourbonFest.com, or if you want to go to bourbonbr.com, any of our websites. I'll make sure tonight everything's across the board on all of them. We do have 3 websites. It's very confusing.
It's all good, man. People, you follow them on Facebook or Instagram. You can find them everywhere, and we'll make sure that we share the links as well. But in the immediacy, the important thing, when's the raffle going to be?
So raffle is about 13 days from now. So it's the release of the party. If you want to come pick up your bottle at the release, it's going to be the 20th. So that's a week and a half from now, and then the raffle is the following day. So make sure if you want to get your tickets with the bottle, because we'll still. Last year we sold, I think, our last 10 bottles the week after the release. But those they didn't get raffle tickets.
Right.
So if you want to make sure you get your 5 raffle tickets, buy it before Saturday the 20th. Let's
sell these out, man. We got 110 bottles to go. Let's raise a ton of money for cancer research and do some great things. We'll all raise a glass. So cheers. Thanks again for coming in, man. We appreciate you. That is David Steele. This is After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Moose will wrap up the hour with Tigers and the Pros. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Clegg's is awesome, man. And what a time of year when everybody's just spending more time outside. You know, this weekend we're having Drew's 10th birthday party over at the house, and Erica's been decorating already for 2 months. But a big part of it is it's a swim party. And so, man, we have the flower pots full in the gardens, and the flower beds are just bursting with colors. So we got all of our flowers at Clegg's, and they're thriving. So the real big advantage for Clegg's is all of the flowers and all the plants and trees and shrubs, they're grown here. So it's not like they're grown in another state and then put on a box truck and shipped here. So they're acclimated to South Louisiana, so they're going to last longer and thrive. And plus, their horticulturists are awesome people that have all the knowledge and information. So don't feel intimidated. Just go ask someone in a blue shirt. If you have a question, they'll help you out at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
Well, she ain't into cars or pickup trucks, but if it runs like a deer, man, her eyes light up. She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Musso. Tigers and the Pros.
Tigers and the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, let's start with some Major League Baseball. Josh Smith last night, 1-5 in the ball game. It was a single, 290 on the year. I really thought some steam was building there for him in the fan vote for the All-Star game, but unfortunately, Smith falls just short. But a great first half, and we'll see if he continues his career year that he is having. NFL news, Adam Schefter had this report just before noon this morning. Free agent running back Leonard Fournette is looking to continue his NFL career. Says he intends to sign with a team before the season, and he's hired his former agents, Ari Nissim and Pat Capra, both of Chase Your Legend, to help the pursuit. Nissim says, quote, Leonard's in the best shape of his career, and I expect he will have a new home soon.
Hey!
We'll see what happens with former Tiger Leonard Fournette. Of course, the number 4 overall pick when he came out of LSU.
Playoff Lenny.
Playoff Lenny.
Touchdown Lenny.
Touchdown Lenny. Any other Lenny?
St. Aug Lenny.
Hometown team Lenny?
St. Aug, which lost in the playoffs to Catholic Lenny.
I don't think Lenny lost to Catholic.
I called that game.
Yeah.
No, Lenny did okay then.
Yeah, I think Lenny.
Trey Turner and who was the other offensive lineman that came to LSU and transferred? Trey Turner. Jonah Austin?
Yes,
Is that
Jonah
right?
Austin.
Jonah Austin. That was
Wrecking Crew.
Shout out, by the way, to Scott Salinas, a name you probably would never hear on radio otherwise. Catholic High running back that he matched Leonard Fournette. They both ran for over like 200 yards. Scott Salinas ran for like 200 yards in that game. Catholic beat off. It was great. Loved it.
So while Leonard looks for a new team, Trendon Watford re-signs with his old team.
Okay.
The Nets have yeah, Brooklyn. So he's going to continue with Cam Thomas there. Watford accepted his 1-year qualifying offer. We'll go with Woj on that one. Locks in a $2.7 million salary for Watford here in 24-25, and now puts him on track to reach unrestricted free agency after this season. 23, heading into his third year in the association. And we gave you the Olympic participants. Right after we finished that segment and went into break, LSU Track and Field announced another one.
Oh.
Familiar name, Aaliyah Hobbs, heading to the Olympics. I should say heading back to the Olympics. Second appearance. She'll be part of the women's 4x100 for Team USA. And that's Tigers in the Press.
Presented by Evermore. Speaking of all you Olympians, as we said before, like Cloth and Nuss. If you want to go to the Olympics, you drink Evermore. It's on the label. It's not really on the label. It should be on the label. You drink Evermore, you're going to the Olympics. I mean, that's not really. But if you are an elite athlete, you want a better form of hydration, you want Evermore. This is natural, artesian water. It's a rare alkaline source with a pH of 8.8 to 9.1. There's a fresh, smooth taste, perfected by nature. There's nothing added or taken away. I would always encourage you, go read the labels of your water. You would think, water's water. Go read labels, even really like popular bottles that you see everywhere. Something will say like minerals added for flavor. Nothing added or taken out. This is pulled from a natural artesian well on the North Shore, pumped right into their facility. It's bottled, and it does not touch air until you uncap it. It's Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com, or available at great local retailers. Drink Evermore. Okay, y'all. It's after further review. Pumped to have you aboard with us here. Been a really good show already, man. We got a lot to do. Coming up after the top of the hour here, we're going to head to L.A., talk to a USC beat writer for the L.A. Times to talk about how the offseason has gone for the Trojans. And then in about 20 minutes, Joe Doyle will be here. I want to talk to Joe about this LSU baseball transfer class. There's been so much angst from LSU fans about the lack of like the big name, big school transfer. And the thing that I've tried to explain or impart is that, man, it doesn't have to be a big name, big school player. Are you addressing needs with quality players? And I think LSU has ticked those boxes. And Daniel Dickinson is the commitment they got today from Utah Valley, who is a projected first-round pick for 2025 by Joe Doyle. He's an infielder, that hit 18 homers, batted .367 last year at Utah Valley, and is a legit stud player on the infield. And now you can start to piece it together and say, all right, well, you've got Steven Milam back at one spot. Does Braswell come back? If so, Milam, Braswell back on your middle infield, and then Dickinson can play third base. And you recruited 3 guys that are first base DH. Let them go battle it out. Whoever is best at it wins that job, and we'll see what happens with Bear Jones in the draft. My point is, the roster is really starting to come together for LSU, where I can look at all you lost. And yeah, I mean, it's tough to turn over 25, 30 spots on a roster. I'm not denying that. But when I start to piece together what the roster, what the rotation looks like for 2025, I go, man, that's going to be a really good baseball team. And this was sort of the crown jewel, certainly, of this transfer class so far, with Dickinson jumping aboard today. So we'll talk about that with Joe Doyle coming up here in about 20 minutes from right now. Okay, SportsCenter's coming up. Let's get you caught up on national headlines. We'll come back and we'll head out west, talk a little USC before the September 1st opener. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. And man, if you are hitting the road this summer, before you take the family on that beach vacation or wherever you may be going, make sure you bring your vehicle to Shawbills. Maybe it's time to buy tires. Go to Shawbills. Shawbills guarantees you they will sell you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. As a matter of fact, they guarantee it. Part of the Charlie's Dozen is the Charlie's Price Match Guarantee. Buy tires at Shawbills. If you find those tires advertised cheaper somewhere else, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. How about that? It's at Shawbills. Go to ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. You can shop tires online. You could schedule service if you need your tires rotated, your oils changed, your brakes checked, whatever it may be. You can find all that info at the website. Go to ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. For more than 60 years, Shawbills, we treat you like family because at Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The latest massive NBA payday goes to Pistons guard Cade Cunningham. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports he agreed to a 5-year, $224 million rookie max extension. It could be worth as much as $269 million. Guard Klay Thompson introduced today by his new team, the Mavericks. He discussed his emotional exit from the Warriors after 13 years, as well as his excitement for the next chapter of his NBA career.
Sometimes, breakups are necessary to do what's right, and I'm not the first athlete in the NBA to go through this. I take a lot of inspiration from past athletes and how their careers might have gone, astray when they either left the team or joined a new team, and some guys thrive, and I look forward to just kind of being rejuvenated here and playing a lot of good basketball left in the tank.
Mavs guard Klay Thompson. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, recently seen wearing a walking boot, says nothing's wrong with his surgically repaired ankle. Little sore after a few days of hard training. Boot only a precaution. Spain beat France 2-1, advanced to the Euro 2024 final, facing either England or the Netherlands Sunday.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Taylor Sharp.
Every girl crazy about his shine dress.
And Mr. Toby Tompley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Joe Doyle in 15 minutes. We'll talk about LSU baseball's transfer class. I want to get some outside national perspective on the haul that LSU has gotten, because there seems to be a lot of angst about it. But the crown jewel today in Daniel Dickinson. We'll talk about that with Joe Doyle here in about 15 minutes from right now. So we are expected to be joined right now by Ryan Karchi from the LA Times, who covers USC, trying to make that connection. So we'll get to that here. Okay. We'll get to that here just as soon as he's connected with us. One of the things that happened earlier today, if you missed it, the Pelicans introduced DeJounte Murray, and Murray present. We let you hear earlier in the show what David Griffin had to say, and he didn't mince his words. He said their whole plan started with adding DeJounte Murray. Whether Murray you or present. I believe that, I don't really know. But this is a former All-Star and someone that everyone's very excited about. But one of the things that Murray talked about was after talking about playing with Zion, which is a big part of this, he also talked about playing with Herb Jones and getting the number 5 from Herb Jones. If you miss this, Herb's changing his jersey number to number 2 so that DeJounte Murray can wear his number 5.
Murray, present.
And here's what Murray said about getting that number 5 from Herb.
Man, shout out to Herb Jones. He a real one. I reached out to him. I just got to get this out the way to clear everything. I reached out to him, and it wasn't my intentions to wear 5. You guys, my family, I was like, I'm going to wear another number. And I asked him, do he like it or love it? And he didn't too much love it. And, you know, he was like, I'll give you 5. If 2's available, I'll take 2. And that's how that happened. And I ain't going to say nothing, but I'm going to make sure he's taken care of because that's just who I am, you know.
So, good way to get off to a good start with your new teammates there. Herb Jones doing a pretty selfless thing there for DeJounte Murray. Okay, it's after further review. Present. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. And let's head out to L.A. Ryan Karchi covers USC for the L.A. Times. Good enough to join us here. We're going to get a thumbnail prediction, or preview, I should say, on the Trojans as we're less than 2 months away from the opener now with LSU and Southern Cal. Ryan, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Every time we talk about LSU and USC, we kind of joke that it's almost like that Spider-Man meme where it's like they're just the same guy like pointing at each other because these programs really seem to be mirroring each other right now. If I asked you, describe as best you can Southern Cal heading into the 2024 season. How would you describe this team?
Can you repeat that really quick? You cut out there.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, yeah, I was just asking, big picture, if you were to describe Southern Cal heading into this 2024 season, how would you describe them?
Yeah, I think it's a very important season in terms of the trajectory of the next several years. I mean, obviously you're entering into a new conference in the Big Ten that, you know, I think competitively will be on a different level than what USC has been used to these last couple of years. And I think, you know, all of the changes around college athletics make this critical, just in terms of, you know, getting attention, showing that USC can be the powerhouse it once was, while in a different, even stronger conference. So I think just in that sort of narrative sense, the big season. And then you just look at Lincoln Riley and you realize that, you know, he hadn't really lived quite up to the expectations that USC fans expected when he was first hired. You know, one of the highest paid coaches in college football. And last year was certainly a disappointment. So I think, you know, especially on the defensive side of the movement, I think we'll know a lot more about where things are heading with Lincoln Riley and with this program after this year.
Ryan, look, Lincoln Riley was hired at SC the same year Brian Kelly was hired at LSU. He's had a 10-win season. He's coached a Heisman winner. Had a year last year that was disappointing in large part because the defense was bad. But what were the expectations 2 years in?
You know, I think the expectations, especially given the way things started that first season, and I think a lot went right. You have a Heisman winner at quarterback, a lot of close games, you know, ended well for USC. I think that made a big difference. And then last year, you sort of see, you know, things go exactly the opposite way. Everything that could go wrong. So it really has created a strange sort of vortex of expectations. And, you know, I think USC fans would tell you that they're always expecting to be in the race for the national championship, especially now that we have the larger playoff field. I think that's only going to increase those expectations. So, you know, whether those expectations were fair or not, given how far USC's program had fallen, Lincoln Riley fully embraced them on day one, as you know, declared that the Coliseum would be the middle of college football again. And, you know, when you make those declarations, you have to expect that the fans are going to, you know, have big expectations for you going forward. And, you know, I don't think he shied away. They are certainly high, especially as they're entering into the Big Ten.
Ryan, are those expectations fair this year in 2024 to think of the Trojans as a playoff team? All right, I think why don't you? We're having, please, thank you. Just chat with him if you could, please. We're just having trouble with the connection there, so I apologize for that. I know it was a little choppy. For those that missed earlier, our phone system in the building is down, like completely out, and so we're doing all of our guest calls there via Teams audio calls. So I think we just had a bad internet connection there on Ryan's end, so we're trying to make it work, but we apologize. I wanted to I wanted to delve into the Trojans a little bit. We may have to try again a different time with Ryan. But the reason that I think it's important to check in right now here with talking season beginning with media days, for those that don't know, the Big 12 media days today, of course, next week is SEC football media days. The Big 10 is coming up as well. And the Big 10 will include USC and UCLA, two of LSU's opponents, of course. And now Oregon and Washington going into the Big 10, as you all know that story. But, sometimes it's interesting just to get a magnifying glass view of a program where you and I have a perception of USC from a 10,000-foot view, right, from a distance. But what's it like there on the day-to-day internally? Because when I talk to all of you and I hear from all of you with respect to LSU's expectations, all of you have the expectation of LSU being a 10-win team this year and being in a 12-team playoff. I think that's realistic. I mean, Vegas has LSU's win total projected over/under at 9.5. You go over, you're 10-2, you should be in. But Georgia and Texas and Alabama and Tennessee and LSU and Missouri, all those fan bases have the same expectation. Oklahoma's projected win total 7.5. They're expecting the same thing as well. They won 10 games last year. So they're thinking the same. And USC's thinking it, and Oregon's thinking it, and Washington's thinking it because they were there a year ago, and Michigan and Ohio State. And I mean, you understand there aren't that many spots. So there's going to be a lot of disappointed fan bases. So I just want to peel back the layer of the onion here a little bit on SC, and we'll see if maybe we'll have an opportunity to do that. I apologize, had a bad connection. Tried there, we didn't make it work, but we're running out of time here, so I need to grab a break and stay on time. So we'll knock out a break. We'll try to revisit our interview there with Ryan, and I apologize. He's the USC beat writer for the LA Times, so I apologize. Maybe we could try tomorrow to circle back. Let me knock out this break. We'll come back, and we'll talk to Joe Doyle. Want to get Joe Doyle's perspective on this LSU transfer portal class. Someone who covers the sport as a whole to give us his opinion on what LSU has added so far. We'll do that when we continue on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Hey, get to Rouse's.com or just go by Rouse's. Remember, you can download the app as well. Here's the great thing about the Rouse's app, aside from the fact that you can get all your weekly specials and all that sort of stuff. Remember, Rouse's has curbside pickup and delivery options. So, super easy. You're knocking off work, you need to pick up a few things, you want to save some time. Go to the Rouse's app, select your items, your personal shopper will go pick them out for you. You pull into one of the designated spots, boom, they bring it out to your car. And as long as you spend $35, the personal shopper is a completely complimentary service. How about that? Or there's delivery items as well on the Rouse's app. So if you need to save time, Rouse's can help you do it with the Rouse's app and the curbside delivery options, the curbside pickup option. So download that Rouse's app in your app store today and get shopping. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's, this feels like home.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Value Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Value Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Value Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, we're continuing here on After Further Review. LSU baseball got a monster commitment earlier today in Daniel Dickinson from Utah Valley. You don't need necessarily to hear me say that. Let's let Joe Doyle tell you about him and the rest of this LSU transfer portal class. He's an analyst over at FutureStarSeries.com, at FSS_plus if you're going to get him on Twitter or X. When it comes to prospects and all that sort of stuff for the next level, Joe does an awesome job. He's got a great Twitter account. Would highly recommend you go give him a follow, especially this time of year. Joe, we appreciate it, man. How are you? All right, Joe can hear us. I can't hear him. So let's make sure that that we can. I don't know. Maybe if he's got himself muted, but we're going to see if we can figure that out. Hang on one second with us, Joe. We're going to see if we can get that sorted out. Quick opportunity to remind you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, if you're thinking about popping the question, go where Baton Rouge and all of Louisiana has gone for 4 decades to get engaged. It's Lee. Have the Lee Michaels experience. You know, they really emphasize that when you walk in the door and you know you're going to buy a diamond that's a forever diamond, you want to make sure that feels like something special you're walking in to do. And Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry makes that experience the cornerstone of what they do, on top of exquisite diamonds from the finest diamond mines in the world. So 9 locations in all, 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com. That's lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Check them out. Be sure to tell them you heard about it here on AFR. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, we're trying to reconnect there with Joe Doyle. I apologize, y'all. It sucks, happens, technology. Our phones went out today. We're trying to connect with everybody on Microsoft Teams calls. We're just having a little issue connecting, so we'll see if we can connect with Joe here in just a quick second. I'll pivot just quickly here. as we're waiting to get back in touch with Joe. One thing that I guess is kind of worth keeping an eye on as we move throughout the month of July and toward NFL training camps. Remember, while we're at SEC Football Media Days next week, while we're at Media Days, the Saints rookies are reporting for training camp. So training camp is for NFL teams is effectively upon us. The Saints rookies report late next week. The following week, the veterans report, the full team reports. And then a week after that, it's time for college teams to report for their fall camp. One guy that doesn't have a team yet is Michael Thomas. And today, betonline.ag updated odds for Michael Thomas's next team. And the betting favorite to land Michael Thomas is the Dallas Cowboys at plus 300. They give odds to 8 teams. Actually, it's 9. Cowboys, Bills, Ravens, Broncos, Chiefs, Jaguars, Lions, Falcons, Cardinals, Panthers. Forgive me, that's 10. So 10 teams that have betting odds to land Michael Thomas. And the top 3, actually the top 4 are all interesting for this reason. You have contenders with the top 3. Dallas, Buffalo, and Baltimore. Those are all contenders. The 4th is Denver, which, of course, is coached by Sean Payton, who drafted Michael Thomas back in the 2016 draft. Now, for me, I think the most interesting thing with respect to Michael Thomas and what his future may hold is, what does he want? Is Michael Thomas looking for an opportunity to start, an opportunity to make the most money, an opportunity to win a championship? There's a lot of different criteria that could fit what he might be looking for at this point. But what does he want? And I don't know that I certainly don't have the answer to that. We'll find out in short order. But with Dallas, it would stand to reason that you have an opportunity to go play for a contender, probably an opportunity to get involved there in that offense as well. So Dallas Cowboys at plus 300 are the betting favorite to land Michael Thomas's services. Chiefs, Jags, Lions, Falcons, Cardinals, Panthers. One other thing is there's 5 teams on this list of 10 teams with odds. 5 teams that the Saints play this year. Dallas, Denver, the Chiefs, Falcons, and Panthers. So half this list vying for Michael Thomas' services, at least they have odds for Michael Thomas, play the Saints. All right. It's after further review. If you missed the start of the show, it's the reason we're trying to get Joe Doyle here on the show. I see we have him connected. We're working on the audio side of things there. LSU landed a huge commitment today out of the transfer portal. It's the commitment that, quite honestly, we've all been waiting for and hoping that LSU would land from a quality impact infielder in this transfer portal cycle. They got it in Daniel Dickinson out of Utah Valley. The connection with the Utah Valley, if you remember, their head coach is Eddie Smith. Eddie Smith was LSU's hitting coach the last 2 years of the Pulmonary era in 2020 and 2021. And Dickinson's a guy that's from a small town in the state of Washington and kind of just went unnoticed by scouts and landed at Utah Valley. And this last year hit .367 with 18 homers. Also stole 32 bases. And as Joe Doyle notes, he's a projected 2025 first-round draft pick. Actually, it says he's similarities to Alex Bregman. Played second base. He's also played short and some third. And this is an amazing statistic as well. Dickinson has 1 strikeout in 41 plate appearances in the Cape so far this summer. Let me say that again. 1 strikeout in 41 plate appearances so far in the Cape this summer. He writes, it's elite bat-to-ball skills, premium athletic testing, suggesting more is there to be unlocked. Says he'll likely play second or third, but did get 10 starts at shortstop in 2024. Notes he should lead off for the Tigers. So you're talking about an immediate impact guy for LSU, the guy you've wanted. Now, one of the things that I told you yesterday, if you were here, when LSU missed on Gavin Keelan, from Louisville, they made Gavin Keelan, as I understand it, the most generous NIL offer that for a baseball player that they made up until this point. And it still wasn't enough to land Keelan, who ultimately picked Tennessee. Now, I don't know what the number was, what Dickinson might have gotten here from LSU. What I can tell you is, in conversations I had today with people within LSU's collective, is that this was not a deal done through LSU's collective. So are there individual LSU boosters who, maybe there was an appeal made from Jay or the staff? I don't know. What I can absolutely tell you is that Daniel Dickinson is not getting a deal through LSU's collective. It's not to say that there isn't an NIL opportunity. I'm almost certain there is, and I believe it'll be a six-figure opportunity if we end up getting the number. But this was one of those things that you feel was an absolute must for LSU, to add another quality caliber starting infielder on this team. Because you could have made it work, right? You've signed 3 guys that are first base DH options for you. And we'll see how it works out with Hernandez and Yaman and Beck. And one of those guys will win the job at first. One will DH. We'll see if they rotate. But you could have made it work. If you had Milam at second or at short, you got Tanner Reeves coming in from the JUCO ranks. We talked about Josh Pearson moving back to second base. Maybe you're talking about one of the freshmen coming in. Maybe it's Michael Ryan, who could fit somewhere on the infield. Like, they could have made it work. But now you're talking about a guy that is like an immediate impact dude with pop in the bat, can hit for power, hit for average, can steal bases. It's a 5-tool guy who's a projected first-round pick next year that you're plugging there in the top 30 of your lineup, maybe at the leadoff spot, and can play in any one of those spots. So if Braswell comes back, awesome. You got a senior starting shortstop, you got Milam back at second, and now you got Dickinson at third base. If Braswell signs, okay, Milam can play short, Dickinson can play second. You could flip those guys. Maybe Tanner Reeves plays third. Maybe one of the incoming guys wins one of the starting jobs. The point is, you added this cornerstone piece here with getting Dickinson into this transfer class for LSU. So I know the familiar refrain from LSU fans has been, why hasn't LSU been able to get the big name or the big school transfer? Well, first of all, it's one of the reasons I wanted to have Joe Doyle on. This just hasn't been a super deep transfer portal class. It would have been had the A&M players stayed in the portal and gone elsewhere, but A&M committed their resources to re-signing Jay Slaviolette and Gavin Grahovac and Caden Kent and Schott and all those guys. So, okay. Well, if that's the case, then you look at what's out there, and really when you're talking about premier infielders, there were 2. It was Gavin Keelan and Daniel Dickinson. And you got one of them. Maybe the guy that's going to be the better of the 2. But you can feel like you have a big sigh and a big exhale for LSU at this point, because I don't even know if it's an exhale. It's more of a celebration landing this guy. Because I think that would have been fine either way. This takes you from, man, you're going to be fine either way, to you should be really pumped about how your infield is going to look. Because if I'll keep spelling this out. If I got Blaze Priester at catcher, one of the 3 guys that I mentioned at first base, Milam at second, Braswell at short, Dickinson at third, Jake Brown in center, Ashton Larson in right, and then Josh Pearson in left, or maybe Derek Curiel wins a job, or maybe, Stanfield, the transfer from Auburn, wins an outfield job. Like, all of a sudden you look at that lineup and you go, well, I like that 1 through 9. I like it a lot. I can win with that, especially when I know I got Chase Shores and Cade Anderson and probably Griffin Herring back, and then the arms that you've brought in. Yeah, like, this looks like a team that's a contender next year for a national championship, to get back to Omaha and to win it all. So Jay Johnson's amazing, man. He's the best recruiter in college baseball. He's a tireless worker. He demands the same of his staff, and it's pretty obvious what they've been able to do in this portal cycle so far. So a big get today. I apologize that we were, the last 2 segments we were supposed to have guests. I was excited about both of them, and for things that were out of our control, technology, it didn't work out. So we pivoted, and I apologize for it. We'll see if we can follow up both those guys and get them on another day. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land? Go where Louisianans have gone to buy land since 1916, for more than 100 years. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Your first option when it comes to buying land should be First South Farm Credit. So go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. And man, I tell you, whenever I talk about First South Farm Credit, I love also telling you about the patronage refund. How many times have you borrowed money and then had the lender write you a check? Ever? Well, if you finance through First South Farm Credit, that happens every year through their patronage refund. $25.5 million refunded to their borrowers or paid to their borrowers this year with the patronage refund. So it effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. So if it's that recreational property, if it's 20 acres to buy, that property to build your dream home, if it's obviously land for agriculture, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. All right, it's after further review. A couple things left to tick off the box. In 15 minutes, we'll get to Otterlocks. When we come back, a very familiar name to college football fans is having a little pivot in his career. We'll get to that. We're glad to have you here at AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. Hey, I was over at Glow Resources before I went on vacation and had a great conversation with Casey over there, who heads up the professional placement division. And it's so impressive just to learn how Glow Resources works. It's why I always encourage you, like if you're a business owner and you're having trouble hiring the right people or people that stick, people that are going to make your business more efficient, you need Glow Resources. They recruit nationwide as well. I really want to stress this. Glow, their headquarters is here in Baton Rouge, but they work with companies all over the country to place people in jobs all over the world. For example, they recently worked with a Baton Rouge-based company that was looking for an engineer, and they found an employee in Florida who was willing to move to work in California. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online, GLO, glowresources.com.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Mornings from 7 to 10 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishBuilt.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Joe Tessitore's got a new gig. Old Joe Tess. He is going to be, this is actually the most perfect gig possible for Joe Tessitore. It was announced on Tuesday that Joe Tessitore has signed a deal to provide play-by-play for the WWE beginning this summer. I mean, Joe Tessitore and the WWE go together like lamb and tuna fish. I mean, beautiful combination. Listen, Joe Tess is like all energy. He is the guy that waxes poetic and rhapsodic about everything. I mean, a 3-yard run, Joe Tess makes it seem like it's a Picasso painting. And it's so much. And quite honestly, as a viewer of a football game, it's kind of nauseating. And I hate to say that because I like Joe a lot. I got to talk to Joe a ton at SEC Media Days over the years, and he's a hell of a nice guy. And quite honestly, Joe Tess is a legendary boxing announcer. Like, he does top-ranked boxing for ESPN, and he has been a long-time boxing announcer, and he's fantastic at it. But my goodness, he is a tough listen when it comes to football. This is perfect. Like, Joe Tess calling The Undertaker throwing Mick Foley off a cage, that's what you need. Like, that's the arena where Joe Tess needs to live. Like, when I think of some of the greatest calls in sports history, I mean, think about the subtlety for some of the greatest calls ever. Like, Miracle on Ice, Al Michaels.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Simple. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. And then let the crowd do the rest, right? It's television. You don't need, the pictures are describing it. The great Jack Buck, Kirk Gibson's homer in the World Series on a bum leg.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. And the Dodgers have won the game 5-4. I don't believe what I just saw.
That's it. And then get out of the way. Let the crowd do the rest. Jack Buck's son, Joe Buck. One of the greatest calls in a World Series game ever.
Freeze hits it in the air to center. We will see you tomorrow night.
Freeze hits it in the air to center. We'll see you tomorrow night. That easy. Not Joe Tess.
19 straight completions now for Drew Brees. That ties his career high in a game. But I think he's searching for another mighty mark. Will he get it here? Yes! Touchdown pass, 5-4-0 in the 504.
Oh, my God. That wasn't even a bad one. Even though he was talking all the way up through the snap of the ball. I mean, that wasn't Joe Buck could puke all over a call. That wasn't even a bad reviews. You could have gone to literally any 3-yard and a cloud of dust call from any Joe Buck, any Joe Tess game. Point being, all that to say, I think Joe Tess is going to be awesome calling the WWE. So good luck. He's still going to, I mean, look, he lasted one season calling Monday Night Football. I mean, it's a good thing. Apparently, he's still going to call college football. I don't know what he's going to do, though. I guess SmackDown is on Friday nights. Do either of you watch wrestling at all? No?
Not anymore. I mean, I know they used to tape SmackDown on Tuesdays, but I think it is live now, so
Okay.
it would be Friday night for him.
Well, Pat McAfee's on Raw on Monday night.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Good for him. That makes good.
Yeah, that fits as well, man. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Go do you,
McAfee's
man.
gotten in the ring before.
I know that. Anyway, Raw's going to Netflix on January 1st. How about
Didn't know that.
all this wrestling stuff I didn't even know was a thing anymore. But apparently it's still a thing where people do actually watch. People that aren't children watch wrestling, yeah?
Yeah, still quite popular,
Yeah,
man.
apparently. Adult humans watch watch wrestling. I mean, I watch wrestling a ton. I used to buy the pay-per-views. Well, my parents would buy the pay-per-views when I was a
Got
kid.
to.
But I mean, but then I turned 8, and it was like, okay, I think I've outgrown this a smidge.
No more of the chewing your vitamins and say your prayers.
The Hulkster. It breaks your heart when you think about the Hulkster going to the dark side. But that was even after I quit watching. I mean, the last thing I remember was like probably WrestleMania 7.
Hey.
Hulk and Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Watch that. That's the last one I really remember watching.
Ultimate Warrior the year before that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. WrestleMania 6. Hulk gave him the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching when The Undertaker became a thing at Survivor Series.
90.
I think it was 90.
1990, yeah.
Survivor Series. Was watching that. I'd have been 8 then. I'd have been 8.
Oh, okay.
So I said when I was 7. No, I said when I was 8.
You said 8.
Years old. Yeah, I was 8 years old. Remember that. Then it probably just was like, I think I'm going to move on to different parts of my life now. Like, living life and doing things that don't involve watching, roided out grown men fake fight. They're really hitting each. I get it. All right. Yeah. He felt they're throwing them on their back. They're laying on the side. I get it. Right. Wrestling people. It's going to be perfect for Joe Tess.
He's going to crush it.
Joe Tess is going to be perfect for
He's
us.
going to crush it.
That's his wheelhouse. He's going to nail it. Please just avoid SEC football on Saturday nights. Like I don't need that. Thank God for Tom Hart. Rescued us all. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Get on by. You can test drive one today. You can always shop them online. I tell you all the time, but it's interesting. The average car buyer visits 1.2 dealerships before making a purchase now. Because everybody shops online. So you shop online, then you go get your vehicle over at South Point. Right now, they got the South Point Volkswagen 4th of July event rolling on. The 4th of July event rolling on. 2024 Atlas Crossport, 0.9% APR for 60 months. $3,500 bonus as well. You can check it out at southpointvw.com. And new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. Got one thing left to do. We're going to get to Jimmy. We'll do Otter Locks. We're looking forward to that. You know what? Very candidly, I'm transparent all the time. Like, this really sucks. It sucks. I mean, we got dealt a bad hand today. You do live radio, and sometimes that happens. You have guests lined up, and we had several of them today, and our phones went out, so we tried to pivot and have Zoom, or I guess Microsoft Teams audio calls, and it just was a abject failure all the way through. So it's one of those things where it sucks. You dust yourself off and try again tomorrow. One of the things, though, I did just get a message. We were supposed to have Zion Williams on today, the LSU defensive line commit. He messaged me just a bit ago. He, of course, is in Lufkin, Texas, and Texas got hit by the hurricane. So completely understandable why he wasn't able to come on today, but we're going to try to circle back and maybe make that happen tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow is just a better day all the way around. Our studio is functioning as we hope that it should. Some of the things outside of our control that went wrong today, but we'll try again tomorrow and try to do better tomorrow. Okay, let me knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. Did our women's? I know nothing about Wimbledon.
Brother, I was gonna say I don't even remember who was in it. So I don't even remember who made up the parlay.
Jimmy gave us a Wimbledon women's Wimbledon parlay. It was we did not win. As a matter of fact, neither Lulu Sun nor Emma Navarro won their matches. Oh. They both lost. So, brother, we went down in a ball of fury on Jimmy Ott's Wimbledon women's parlay. So, we continue. The whole thing was, hey, let's build up that bank before Jimmy goes out to Del Mar, and instead, let's lose all of our bank before Jimmy goes out to Del Mar. We'll try again. Otter Locks is next. It's AFR.
AFR.
91 degrees, man. 91 degrees at 5:43 in the afternoon. I don't even know what the feels like is, but I know this much. If your AC goes out, that stinks. So if your AC is having trouble keeping up, or if your AC has gone kaput, you need our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. Give them a buzz at 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. Our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air like to say they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. I loved this 5-star review from Keith Slyman, who said, Arian was the most thorough tech we've ever had. He explained things simply, completely, very personal, professional, and polite. 5-star Google review. One of thousands for River City's 1 Hour Air. Give them a buzz, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime.
Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on what day is it? Oh, it's a Tuesday edition of AFR. Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Love telling you about our friends over at Sunshine. By the way, I was chatting with Grace over at Sunshine earlier today. Today they were doing a video shoot with Tigers offensive lineman Will Campbell. So remember last year they had a whole bunch of NIL videos, like one for each opponent that they rolled out throughout the course of the season. Doing that again. Will Campbell, the big fella, was doing a video shoot today. So looking forward to a lot of that creativity. Look, Sunshine's awesome. I would say from Bunkie and below, You want a Sunshine, you want a John Deere tractor, a mower, zero-turn mower, you want John Deere products, you're getting it from Sunshine. So find your local Sunshine dealer at sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Okay. Today has sucked. I've been very transparent with that. The phones in the building are out. Not our fault. The provider, the phones are out. So we tried to pivot. We tried to do like Microsoft Teams calls, like to get the audio, and that has been hit or miss at best. Like at absolute best to say hit or miss. I've had to pivot a ton today. It's just part of doing live radio. But I'll be damned if we're missing Otter locks. That ain't happening. So I pulled out my cell phone, I called Jimmy Ott, and I said, you know what I'm going to do, Otter? I'm holding the friggin' phone up to the microphone here on speaker because we're getting Otter locks. If it's the last damn thing I do today, we're getting our Otter locks. Otter, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, man? Anything goes sideways on our show.
What's that?
We know damn well who to blame on my show.
Hanny, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
See,
okay. We'll blame Hanny.
Does this sound okay? I think this sounds okay.
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you, Otter. Very cool.
Stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it sounds fine. He's a little low, but it sounds fine.
Okay.
Hey, you'll miss me when I'm gone, huh?
Yeah, of course I will.
How about last year, huh? Delmar flashbacks. You know, the girls take potty mouths trying to get the bill before the last race goes.
Otter,
bugle guys. What?
I don't think that was last year. I think that was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
I think that was 2 years ago because that was the year where you were in fuego in MLB. Like you were winning at like a 75% clip. You went to Delmar, and then it's like you forgot how to spell baseball when you got back.
Kind of remember, ain't nothing like that college basketball season. So that was, I'm counting the days down when the college basketball starts again.
I mean, all right, you crushed it in college basketball this year, but I would put that stretch of MLB from the start of the season to you left to Delmar 2 years ago up against almost any stretch you've had. I don't think you remember just how good of a clip that was. I mean, it was like a 75% clip. It was incredible. So
good.
But anyway,
we got a lot of picks tonight.
Okay, let's go. What we got?
Okay, you got Phillies Dodgers in game. No score, bottom of the first. Wheeler throwing. I'm on the Phillies in that one. So I don't know if you're paying a premium price right now. What is the price you're looking at?
Otter, I'd love to tell you, but I've got you on speakerphone on my phone that I'm holding up to the microphone. So maybe I'll need one of our staff members here to help us who don't seem to be willing to help with anything right now.
Does Musso know anything about baseball? How to look about
we said Diamondbacks and what? Diamondbacks and Phillies in game.
Phillies.
Right. That's his in game. Musso.
Dodgers Phillies in game. Sorry. Well, it's frozen right now. Won't let you bet anything.
What you got next?
Okay. All right. Tampa Bay, a money line.
Par for the course today, Otter. When it rains, it pours.
Tampa Bay, money line, starting right now.
Okay.
All right. Texas two-step parlay. Houston Astros in Texas. Seattle's leaking oil. They are losing ground as we speak. I mean, here come the Astros in Texas. Slow starts. Astros are barely 500. Texas is under 500, but they are heating up, and they play a 3-game series in Houston over the weekend. By the way, you can find 12-1 on Texas to win the division. If they go to Houston, take 2 out of 3, that 12-1's long gone. So I'm looking at Texas, Houston money line parlay.
All right.
First 5, and then Zach. They scratched Chris Sale last night that we talked about. We kind of found out right as we were doing the show. But Zach Gallen's back for Arizona. He pitched well in his first game back. First 5 under. We ain't dealing with the bullpen, especially the Arizona closer who blew the game for us last night with 1 strike away with a 3-1 lead. Even the Diamondbacks broadcaster goes, not again! Seawall blew another one. First 5 under, 4 or 4.5. Doesn't matter which one. And then over Boy, the Giants, Kikuchi for Toronto, and help me out here for the only one that's Cy Young, Blake Snell. Blake Snell for the Giants. Blake Snell's got a 10 ERA or 9.5. I mean, let's not be picky. He blamed it on negotiations. Well, they start slow every damn year. Okay, it's just extended a little bit with no spring training this year. 7.5 is the total. We're going to go over that total. Over Toronto, San Francisco. Under first 5, Atlanta, Arizona. 2-step money line parlay. Texas 2-step. Houston, Texas, and then Tampa Bay.
And
Got a full slate for you.
And the in game with the Phillies right now.
Yeah, Phillies. What is that number right now?
We're looking at the run line or the money line?
Money line.
Money line is minus 195 for the Phillies.
Ooh.
Man, wait till the end of one. That's too high. That's too high.
Okay.
So if they go to the
1 minute remaining.
One, no score, it'll be closer to the original line.
All right, Otter, where are you tomorrow?
We are at Modesto on Burbank, right next to the original walk.
Very good, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Good luck. Thanks, Otter.
All right, see you.
See ya. It's After Further Review brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Hurricane Barrel's a great reminder, y'all. Thankfully, we were largely spared, but a lot of people in the Houston area, around parts of Texas, lost power. Don't let that be you. Get a Generac automatic home standby generator installed by Optimize. It's easy. Go to GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. You got $600 for a down payment. They have financing options for any budget. They are the best. They are Louisiana's #1 Generac dealer. It's Optimize. Go to GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Okay, that's going to do it for us. Muse, Taylor, appreciate it. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll be back tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, get to remind you about our friends at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Shared this with you yesterday in case you missed it. Go check out their social media. Our friends over at Michelli posted a testimonial from one of their clients. And it was so pointed because they actually spelled out what having their scale calibrations did and how much it saved them. So this client explained the accuracy of their scale and how just a $10 material cost per pound with a minor scale error would cost $1.56 million in annual loss just because of a scale error, which is why it is so important to have your scales calibrated and all of your precision measurement devices calibrated. I think intuitively we all know that. So you need the best. You need Michelli, our nation's largest distributor of scales. Online at Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com for Michelli Weighing and Measurement.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also